Hello, 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 beautiful.
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
I am here.
We the only two here, so
I am here. It's me, Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls. Welcome back, TWG Fan Club. We took a week off for my epic birthday extravaganza that was
epic
those 2 weeks of just ongoing.
of
Um,
us going gra da 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 da.
it was just such a good time. But I do want to just thank everybody for all the love that I got on social media everywhere. It was like super overwhelming. Last year my birthday was insane. I wasn't able to celebrate. So I kind of went OD this year for my 30 free. And I am very excited that I did that. I do want to take a second as well and just acknowledge a lot of tragedy that's been going on in the wrestling community. It's been a heavy month as far as wrestling news, but I do want to just say rest in peace to Jay Briscoe, who lost his life tragically in a car accident. His family is in our prayers. We send our condolences. I also want to share some love to Kevin Nash and Amari Miller and a lot of other people that have just been going through a lot. And there's life is hills and valleys. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs. So we definitely just want to send our love to everybody, all of our community out there, and we are always available on our social media to express yourself and talk. And I'm sure Ciendel can speak more to just a little bit of support before we kick off fan club. I just want to kind of get that serious stuff out the way. um but yeah, Ciendel, what's your
I
input?
just think I just think January is just starting to be that time of year in sports in general because we're not only coming off of that, we're kind of coming off also outside of wrestling related. We're coming off the anniversary of losing Kobe Bryant. Once again,
Mm,
we lost him before the Royal Rumble. Tragically, he lost him and his daughter lost their lives, and then just a midst of it's supposed to be a new year, and unfortunately, nobody wants to start the tragedy there nobody wants tragedy to start the new year, I should say. But it's really all about it being in positive vibes. The way, even though things are tragic, the way I've seen our community just come together, all the wonderful, nice messages going out towards Ari Miller, who openly admitted that she's attempted to take her own life last year.
mhm.
Last year, I like to say a lot of people were still recovering from the effects of the pandemic and COVID. So she's not alone in that feeling, and it's so great and gratifying to see a lot of people reach out and extend that open hand to her and say, "Listen, we're with you. We're praying for you." Also, same thing with Kevin Nash. I know this is probably one of the darkest times in his life. Like he's lost his friend, he's lost his son, um, and unfortunately, in the light that all the news that's coming up of how he lost his life, I think
Mhm.
definitely, if anything, he just also, it's great to see that he has the community still that will wrap their arms around him and just make sure that he's okay. But with the Briscoes, I know, and I was just having a conversation with someone about this. Like, if you know the Briscoes the way the fans knew him and the way these wrestlers knew him and his brother are really for the community. They're not just doing this for the entertainment side of it. They're really in it for everybody in their community to win. I
Mhm.
had the pleasure of seeing I've always heard of the Briscoes. I've watched their matches. I've always been intrigued. I love their stuff in Ring of Honor with Shane Taylor. I loved him going up against Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor championship at Final Battle. I liked their wrestling style. They were really like those they were really dumb boys. And when I finally got to see them at House of Glory show when it was at Terminal 5 this past summer, I was just like thoroughly impressed with them because I was just like, yo, these guys are really alive. And I know I sent you guys the video of what I got to see. They were live, everybody was for them, they were amped, and they were going up against, shout out to the main event and Private Party in a tag team championship.
Ah,
And main events are homegrown guys, but the way that they gave main event not one, not two, but three times to go after the House of Glory championship and to say that one last time, you know what, we're gonna put the belt on them. When you go on Midas's and Lions Instagram and you hear that full length story of how you know, they really weren't supposed to get those titles, but the Briscoes went ahead and said, no, put them on them. They've earned our respect. They've earned this. We're gonna drop the titles to them. Like that just shows you that somebody that wasn't just for doing this for the clout. They were doing this for the fans. They were doing this for themselves, for their love of the business. The amount of outpour for this man alone is so overwhelming. And I was up, I mean, I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning, still looking at Twitter. I put up my own little video of like my experience with them and how they've made me enjoy tag team wrestling and the growth of it. So it's just really all about making sure you're there for your people. Like it don't take nothing to text them like, hey, I'm checking in. Hey, how are you? Pick up the phone, call, FaceTime. Like I get annoying. Like I'm so random. Like, hey, how you doing? Like I may have not heard from you in a long time, but I'm gonna make sure you're okay. And that's so important. You never know how that's gonna make somebody feel. And it's so tragic that life had to end for it to be that way. But you know what? This just shows a lesson. Like you never know. Treat every day like it's not gonna happen again tomorrow. And that's all I pretty much have to chop it down to.
Yeah. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Now that we finally got the technical issues figured out. Hi.
Hello. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So we're still missing a part of the crew. So we want to first congratulate Brian H. Waters on his new show. So it's a big day for him today. So he, as you can see, is noticeably absent. So I will be filling in as producer. I'm not going to be as good as him, but
he is here in spirit.
Yes, you are here in spirit. We are so happy for you and proud of you. Definitely. Check out Wednesday Worldwide on the Ringer with another one of our homies, Cal from Black Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
And Ben, who I had the pleasure of meeting in Nashville, who's a super cool guy, really, really good wrestling talk. It's a good show. So definitely check that out if you have not already. Shout out to Black Thoughts in the comments.
Shout out to Black Thoughts. Shout out to Black Thoughts on HOG. Like, how exciting is that?
Right?
I never gave them their clap for that. I can't wait. Next show, I believe next show is February 6th, and they just announced that JT is gonna be there. So you already know we in the building. Like, if I got a carpool, I'm carpooling. So we drive to Queens in 2023. Just so y'all know. So
all right.
Yeah, we drive to Queens.
I so love that. So we do have a big show ahead of us. Now that we got kind of the heavy stuff kind of out of the way, we are still watching AEW Dynamite. We watch it as a family. Feel free to leave us on while you're watching Dynamite and keep us updated if anything big happens. But also just some back stuff to get out of the way. We do have a new episode out. If you have not checked out our Alundra Blaze Medusa Spotlight, please do. It is a really, really good episode. We've been wanting to do a show on her for a very long time. When you talk about women's wrestling, you can't really not mention Medusa. So being able to finally, put the spotlight on her, we were able to interview her during the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame event. So there's a lot of fun things in that episode. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. YouTube, everywhere you get your favorite podcasts. Thirsty Thursday will be February, I want to say 6th. And we have very special guests. Backstage Brawl is going to be joining us. Our family. And I finally got to meet them and some of the team in person last summer, Black Wrestle Fest, all that stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like long overdue collaboration. So we're really excited to have them join us. So that'll be February 9th is the next Thirsty Thursday. So make sure you check that out. It's streaming everywhere. And next week, our Charlotte Flair Spotlight is dropping. Part 1. So yes, we are very excited about that series. The Becky
Queen
did so well, the Sasha one did so well.
Jazzercise.
Yes.
like
I
like
love
sparkly hands.
No,
Yes.
these are spirit fingers.
Yes.
These
Spirit fingers.
are gold.
Jesus.
These
Hey man,
are not
you hear
spirit
that
fingers.
music, the OG music when the guitar hits and it starts hitting that beat, spirit fingers and dancing.
Period. So
Booty shaking optional.
seriously, I think this is like a good time to cover Charlotte too, because you know now she's kind of returned. She is finally kind of reinvented a tad. She's definitely different gear, different music. So I think this was a good time to kind of look back at her career. And I think just speaking in the terms of women's wrestling, I think now it just shows the longevity of women in wrestling now to where we can do a 3-part series on them because they've had like 5+ like tenure that was actually like valuable that we can actually talk about. And it also kind of feels like, especially like with Bayley too, where it's just the beginning. Like I feel like Bayley has so much left to do and she's already been in the company for 10 years, you know, so just to be at that point in women's wrestling is really exciting. So let us know on socials what about Charlotte Flair's career we need to touch on, like things that we, you know, it's the big things, but there's also a lot of little things like Dana Brooke being her sidekick. You know, it's like WWE never mentions that Dana Brooke was like her little which I think is
They
so
really, they be disrespecting Dana Brooke. Y'all need to do a spotlight on the disrespect of Dana Brooke because I'm getting tired.
We have, but it's tough.
Y'all need to do a round 2. Like that's
You need round 2, yeah, because people forget like she wrestles. When was the last time she does stuff? Like when was the last time? Yeah, it's like people need a reminder. Like Dana Brooke A is in the company, B does stuff, and C is not Eva Marie.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's time for a part 2. I have to join us for that one because it's definitely time. But I think that's all the TWG news. Fan club. I mean, I'm sorry, not fan club. Sound off every Friday live with Crispa Contreras and Krista B. And sometimes these lovely folks.
I geeked last night because at 1 a.m. I finally saw her Burlington commercial. But then I got ultra pissed because the plan was to record it and the phone, like everything I had with me was in one place and where I had my phones in a place because I'm trying this new thing where I don't keep my phone and all my devices in one space to where I could pick up the phone in the middle of the night and go on socials. So my phone's like all the way on the Davenport, aka the vanity, and I'm in the bed and I'm like, oh my God, that's Chris. I said my phone. And then it's all the way in the bed. So by the time I got my black ass up, I literally missed the commercial. I was like, damn it. I was like, damn it. I'm never going to. And she was like, it doesn't run that much. But I managed to see it. It was on when I was watching Late Night with Stephen Colbert. And I was pissed that I couldn't record it. So now I'm like, am I going to stay up again and watch it? Nah, I'm too tired.
I have a couple of friends that are actresses, and when I see them in commercials, I can't help but geek. Or I saw one of my friends in a Subway ad, like in the subway, and I looked up and it was her, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's my friend!" And everybody was like, "Okay," but yes,
I have another friend that's in the season finale of Gossip Girl that's coming up. So she films an extra, so she's hosting something tomorrow night. So she was like, "You gotta come to the house. We're gonna have champagne." I'm like, "Oh, I'm bringing the Chardon because you made it to Gossip Girl on HBO Max, girl." I said, "We're bringing the Chardon," and she was an influencer because she's a really big plus size influencer, and she was like, "Yeah, I got a part 2. I'm gonna be there." So I was on the last one, and I saw her, and I was like, "Yay, that's her! That's my friend Char. She does HR. She does like plus size fashion on there." And then she was like, "We're gonna have a party because I'm on there again." So I was like, "Yes, we're looking out the champagne." So support your friends because you never know where you're gonna end up.
Yes, 100%. That part. As I look at all of the beautiful merch behind Justin.
No, it's like over here we got the wrestling club. We got that TWG shirt over here. We got Brian breaking through glass ceilings. Don't mind the Giants hat on top because I got a rep from my G-men. You know they play Saturday night. They play Saturday night against those dastardly, devastating, despicable Eagles.
Listen, we speaking into existence. They're going to win. They're going to win. We're going to win. I don't care. Like I need to be. Listen, we need it.
Beat that ass and rename that field.
Listen, Philly can have it next time. Philly can have it next time. They can't have it this time. I know it's going to be a war.
We're about to implement a no-flying zone for them Eagles.
Exactly.
No flying zone.
No driving zone.
It's Wednesday, so now I can start talking shit because the game's Saturday night. So that's the only reason I will not be in New York for what we will be discussing later on tonight. Is because see, I can't do that. I need to be in the zone. This is a very important game. It's very rare when you get divisional games, especially Giants and Eagles. They have a long standard history. These two teams despise each other. The fan bases despise each other. And then when it's playoffs, it's amped up to like 100. So yeah, this is like big.
Yeah, I'm excited for you because I equate that for like a wrestling event or something where it's like other people you just don't understand. I don't watch football, but I understand like it's like no, I gotta, nah.
Listen, this team is very rude for the Giants. We don't really particularly give a flying fuck about the Eagles. They've had enough. They can go without. They whooped our asses twice this year. This third time
those are Astros games. First time we had people injured. Second time we basically said, "Here, you guys can win this game. We're sitting everyone because we have a playoff game to win, and we don't care about
the Giants will not let us down because they know they came close last year and fucked up.
And this is a very lovable Giants team. We were not supposed to be here. We're not even supposed to be in the playoffs. This is like everything's ahead of schedule. This is supposed to be a rebuilding year. And we're 2 wins away from Super Bowl. But yes, let's pivot. Let's pivot from the gridiron to the square circle.
Yes, to the square circle. I am excited about this show because we actually have a guest later on. So let's take a little bit of a break and then we'll get into all of it.
Yes, sir.
What up? It's your boy Blue Magic from the Mix Tag Show and also owner of For Your Wear. Now, I know you've seen the announcement from some of your favorite podcasters, and soon you'll see some of your favorite wrestlers too. I decided to expand my business to be a vendor so people from the wrestling community have more chance to connect with some of their favorites. So check out foryourwear.com to see if your favorite podcaster or wrestler has teamed up with me. If not, let them know they should. Also, if you're looking for a vendor for your merchandise, go ahead and reach out to me at Blue Magic Grind, spell how it sound, or For Your Wear, FORURWEAR. And shout out to those wrestling girls for being one of the first to join me on this journey. Their merch is already up, so go ahead and cop that.
Go ahead and cop that merch. Get your TWG hoodie in a vibrant pink, gray, white. Yeah.
I gotta give a shout out.
All this fly merch behind me, you can get from For Your Wear.
Gotta give a shout out to my girl, All Elite Geeks, because she's also officially with For You Wear, and I have to get her merch as well. So, Geeks, shout out, we love you. She's also dealing with some personal stuff. Just want to spend my love to her. Love her to death. Definitely gotta get her merch. Gotta get a lot of people's merch. Gotta get those wrestling girls merch. Gotta get that Breaking Through Glass Ceilings merch. All of it.
You can give your community your money as well. A lot of hard work goes into everything that we all do, so it's very much appreciated.
Wrestling, wrestlers, influencers, podcasters, they're all up there. And that's one thing that we do, which I've always loved about our crew, our community. We're always there for each other. We're always right there to support. But I want to get into a promotion we don't normally talk about, which is Impact. So one thing I will say is their pay-per-views are usually, the matches are conclusions of stories. And, I don't watch them enough. I wish I did, especially because I'm a huge Mickie James fan. But Ciandol, you rated the Knockouts Women's Championship match between her and Jordan Grace. I wasn't able to make the beautiful graphic, but it was a match that we were excited about. It was a title versus career match. To be completely honest with you, I thought this was going to be Mickie James' swan song. I thought it was going to be the way she retired, which, I kind of would have been okay with, for the simple fact that
It was such a big match. It was built up very well, in my opinion. And Jordynne Grace isn't, some random, wrestler. So I thought this was a very good story. So what did you give the match?
I gave it a solid 4.3.
Ooh, do tell.
So the first thing that I appreciated, and I appreciated so much, was that Mickie is finally tapping into her native heritage, her entrance, and all of it. And shout out to Impact for recognizing real and putting respect on both ladies' side. I'm so impressed with Jordynne Grace. A lot of people, they don't. I don't know what the love-hate relationship with her is. I know her social media presence is not that great because most of it is when it's not bashing, CB and everything that happened with that controversy and defending her husband. She's actually really talented. Like, knock all that stuff away. She's one of the most talented women they have on Impact. She's been their champion. I believe this is her second run as champion, if I'm not wrong, if I'm mistaken. It's her second run as champion. She was impressive to me the first time. Her bout with Tasha Steelz was really good. Her bout with her tagging with, Dana Peraza has been really impressive to me. She's just an all-around good performer. So I think her and Mickie, when it came to chemistry, and I always rate my matches based on chemistry. The chemistry was my biggest concern. But from what I saw, there's no crumbs left. They took it all. They ate. They said they gave them on a pay-per-view of Impact, which is rare, the final match of the night. Very rare in Impact. So that's what made it go up past 4. Because it was just a regular in the middle of Impact women's match like all the other ones have been, I would have rated it lower. But the fact that they really gave it the main event, thinking, you know what, this is Mickie James. This is somebody who put their blood, sweat, and tears into being the knockout champion. She's put her blood, sweat, and tears into defending Impact. She went to WWE with our title for the Royal Rumble and still came back and put respect on us. Like, let's give her
that was a moment.
That was a
and
moment.
Recognized as Impact's knockout champion.
Knockout champion. James. So for them to bring those barriers, and then shout out, I know it was produced by Gail Kim, for it to be like, you know what? No, this is how we're doing it. You guys are going to go out there, lay it on the line. Their buildup has been really good. I wish it would have been given a little bit more attention because they actually had a really good build for the match. But the match to me was impressive. Really good technique. You basically saw two women put up a clinic. And at the end of the day, you knew Mickie James was going to go home with that title. And the reason why I gave it the 4.3 was if you're going to keep Mickie James around, don't make it a title versus career. Like, it could have been like a last chance the title match. To say it was a career thing, I felt like it was a little bit too much. So I feel like Mickie James, she has such a long way to go. Like, she's reached her Hall of Fame status, don't get me wrong, but I feel like she got more to do. She got so much more for this business to give. She gives so much already, despite all the stuff that she had to deal with leaving WWE. Just like, but me and P already talk about this. Sometimes it takes you to go somewhere else to be appreciated for what you are before you come back somewhere else. And we've seen it happen with many people. We've seen it happen with Peraza. We've seen it happen with McIntyre. We've seen it happen with freaking Karrion Kross had to go back before he got pulled back from WWE also at the time. You've seen it happen with so many people. Like, sometimes it takes you to go somewhere else, completely different. Cody, hello. Take you to go somewhere different than Sean and then come back. And I feel like for it to be a title versus career, it made it seem like if she had lost, she would have been back in WWE, which, like, crossed my fingers. I'm a little biased. That was my hope. But, like, the fact that she had the title and the fact she got her respect where it's due and she got the knockout champion, she cut a sermon at the end and she was like, you can't get rid of me, bitch. That's what she basically said to the crowd, and the crowd loved it. They were like, oh, I'm here now that I have the Knockouts championship. She's like, you think you're gonna count me out? I have a long way to go. And the one thing that I actually want to raise it now to a 4.4 is she consistently gave Jordynne her flowers, which Jordynne Grace, like I said, she's very underrated in my opinion. She's great. She's come a long way in learning her craft as a wrestler, and those two ladies put on a clinic. Like, they taught you how women with chemistry wrestle, which is something that now that women are trying to be held at the same caliber as men, that's what they're doing. They're all putting on clinics. So change it to a 4.4. I love the match. I feel like I was probably one of the only one watching the match. But if you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. Hard to Kill, to me, Impact was one of their best pay-per-views to date.
I heard really good things about it.
It was really good. So hopefully, if all works out, push.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jordynne Grace? I feel like that's somebody that's like super popular in the internet wrestling community as well. Maybe, I don't know, for good or bad reasons. But she is a strong, attractive woman. She definitely represents a type of woman that normally isn't represented. She's very different. And she's made a lot of history. She was scouted by WWE at one point. Why do you think she's not, and maybe it could just be, just in, the wrestling fans in my orbit, but why don't you think she's like talked about more, or, in the same as like other kind of women on the indie scene are talked about?
I think she's, and I don't want to be offensive when I say this, she's wrestling mediocre. And I say mediocre not in talent. I say mediocre as far as like the look. Not many promos being cut, not being spotted out that much. She's known because I watched her when she was like on her fitness journey, and to see how she looks back then to how she looks now. Complete transformation. I completely respect it. But again, the indie scene is not touched a lot. We touch it because we're in it, and so to speak, we interact with a lot of wrestlers. But like, if she had gotten a match on AEW, guarantee you she would start to pick up momentum. But Impact's been her home for such a long time because she wants to be her home. She's comfortable there. Now, is that stopping her growth? Maybe. I want to say no, because like, if it was stopping her growth, if it was stopping their growth from being on Impact, we would have never got a chance to have Taya Valkyrie in WWE the way we did the first time. So it's hard to.
She was in WWE, yo. It just happened.
Look at how she felt. And then, like, you have to also remember that a lot of people that go to Impact for some weird reason, they do what people that they were doing it before people who go to AEW do, which is they will badmouth the shit out of WWE and be like, oh, you want to work where their A, B, C, D, E, F, G happens? And so, like, the one person who was always putting the buzz in everybody's ear when he was there, Christian, and it's known fact, it's public knowledge, Christian went to Impact after his last run in WWE and just shit on the company completely, to the point where certain wrestlers who were in Impact did not want to go. Like, to the point where I think I forgot the name of the wrestler already. I had a brain fart, but he shit on them to the point where nobody want to go to WWE, and you went at your own risk. So I think that's probably what's going on with her. Maybe it's also too with the fact that like she's with her husband, so
she could be comfortable,
like, she could be comfortable. Like, not every woman wants to be the next Bianca Belair. Not every woman wants to be the next, Jade Cargill, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe she's happy where she's at, and if she's happy where she's at, but for her to still make the impact that she's making at Impact, I think she's doing fine.
I think so too. She's held multiple titles, and I think in every division almost. But I think it's to what Black Thought said. I don't think any of the women on the indie scene are talked about enough. 100%. And
that is just dead ass true. It's really like, if it's that WWE or AW, it's like, where?
Who?
Like, yeah, like we just started talking about Stardom last year.
Yeah.
But they're ignoring the work they were doing before that.
Right. Couldn't think about the fact that no one knew who the number one woman choice for PWI Top 500 was. Why?
Mhm.
Because let's be real, not everybody's watching Stardom. Nobody's admitting that because nobody wants to. These wrestling marks think they have a thing to prove. Call a spade a spade, but you weren't. Because for you to be like, who? Why wasn't it Bianca? Why wasn't it Charlotte? Why wasn't it this? Like, did you do your homework before you decided to branch it? No, because you don't watch. And it's fine to say you don't watch. It's also never too late to start watching, you know?
Right.
Bingo. Right. Which is why Stardom is on my list for this year to learn more about. Like, Impact's another one where I can't even tell you how to watch Impact, what day they're on, what channel they're on. Like, I didn't even know they had this pay-per-view until I started seeing Mickie James' entrance pop up on my social media feed because it was such a big deal. Like, yo, have you seen this entrance?
Right.
It's lit. It's like, oh, damn, she's actually doing her thing, but she's embracing her culture, but it's like, yo, they're letting her do it. And it's like pretty damn authentic. Where it's not really like janky like that. Like, yeah. But that, if not for that, I don't even this pay-per-view even going on.
Yeah, I wish there was more, hoopla. And one of our goals on this platform actually is to dive more into the indie scene, doing more spotlight on that, covering Impact, covering ROH, going to our House of Glory shows. I want to touch on this comment real quick because I actually have this. She basically made a book of all the creepy DMs that she got.
So she did a Mia Khalifa, but instead of putting it on social media, she wrote a book.
I remember that.
Yes.
Remember when Mia Khalifa was putting everyone on blast? It's like, I don't care if you're verified, I don't care if you're an athlete, entertainer, rapper, get out of my DMs, or I will put you on the Summer Jam screen and blast your ass.
Yeah. Have you looked at
apparently
the book,
Jordan did the same thing, but wrote it in a book.
Hilarious.
Have you seen it? Actually, smart. It's hilarious. Like, men are weird.
Men are so weird. Oh my God.
Listen, your counterpart species, y'all.
On behalf of my species, yes, that's accurate. That is accurate. There's some of us that just don't know how to act when we see a beautiful woman, or like, let alone talk to them.
Yeah, but
it's like
after I read some of that, I was like, ew.
Oh, hey, Krista B.
Hey, Krista.
Hello.
Ew. Like,
yes, Mia was putting everyone on the Summer Jam screen for everyone.
She was, yo.
And it was zero chill. It's like, why is she trending on Twitter today? Because she fucking called out this NFL player or this rapper. It's like, goddamn. So Jordan basically doing the same thing.
So also keep in mind that for my birthday month, New Japan Pro Wrestling's coming to Philly on the 16th.
Ooh,
so yeah, you already know.
Ooh, that's the day after the DC show.
You already know.
I got tickets for the DC show, so I may have to pull up in for the April one. For that
it's called Collision in Philly.
Ooh, oh my God, let's do it. Let's do it. So I want to try out, and before we go into this weekly wrestling news, I want to go into another hi Rakarsha. A new segment I want to try out where we kind of react to wild quotes or tweets that have come out, and we sort of talk about it, and we definitely want you guys to chime in the comments. And everyone that is joining us now, I've seen our viewer spike. Welcome back to TWG Fan Club. Me, Queen PR, here with some of the crew. So Ric Flair today was quoted as saying he doesn't like blood in women's wrestling. I think there should be more with the guys. So Ruby Soho, Tay Conti, Anna Jay, and I want to say someone else recently had a very bloody match, as you can see in this photo. And it definitely went viral because, one, that's an excessive amount of blood. And women are not usually the ones to, bleed. Ric Flair is one to talk. Literally, you're covered in blood in every single match you've ever had in your entire life. How do you guys feel about that? So I had to bring this up because this platform is about fucking talking about misogynistic comments like that. And why can't women do the same shit that men do in matches all the fucking time, especially AEW? So I would love to know your thoughts on that.
You double standard bastards. Like, seriously, So it's okay when guys do it, like John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair, all these other men, Bret Hart, and stuff like that. But when the women do it as an issue, like what? That's the double standard shit with wrestling that I don't like. Where like we prefer that the guys do it, but the girls don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, if it makes sense, and also if it's by accident, it's by accident, because you never know. You know, wrestling is all about timing, choreograph, making sure y'all on the same page, and you know, someone may be off their egging that night. Shit happens and stuff like that. So if it's an accident, it's an accident. But if it makes sense, then I'm cool with it. If you're just bleeding just to bleed, I don't like that. Like for example, like 90% of the time Moxley wrestles in AEW, he bleeds. And it irritates me that he does this 90% of the time where it's like, you don't always need blood. I get it.
No.
Blood enhances stuff. Blood enhances story. But when you do it too often, it gets repetitive and it also gets annoying because it's like, dude, I want to see you bleeding like a pig like every single time.
Right.
And it's also not necessary. But there are times where it does enhance matches. I think back to like Roman Brock won WrestleMania 31 main event, where all of a sudden Brock's gushing out of nowhere, and it's just like, oh shit, when did he get busted open? It's like, damn, they really getting physical and stuff like that. So with the women, if it's warranted, I'm with it, and the story warranted it. The match was that brutal, where it's like, I'm with it. That's a lot of blood, but at the same time, I'm used to it now. I'm old enough to where I remember Rick bleeding out his ass WrestleMania 8 in 1992. I remember Eddie Guerrero bleeding all over the place. I remember all my favorites have bled at one point.
Right.
Keep that same energy though. The women have worked their ass off for the last decade to be on the same playing field as the men. Don't be like, I prefer it with the guys, not the girls.
Agreed.
So,
Siendo?
all I'm gonna say is I don't like men twirling their penises to flight attendants or when they're not supposed to be drinking after having a massive heart attack, drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then when they're supposed to have their last match, go to the gym and then go to the bar and drink again to have another match. But that's just me. I don't like that stuff. Like that's not how I move. So for you to have, everybody has their opinions. I have mine. So the minute that he stops drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning and takes his life seriously and stops being the high profiling guy in the 90s that used to come out in the robe and have women drape all over him instead of them just like going out and wrestling before him, I'll care. But I don't give a fuck about what he has to say about that because I just don't give a fuck. Like, let's be real. They all fucking killed it. I loved it. Like Ruby Soho has been slept on harder than probably him on drugs. So I just literally think that I think he's jealous. Like I think he's flat out jealous. I think he's just another bitter Betty from back in the day. He's just like Jim Cornette, who has all and everything to say about how certain performers perform. He's turning into one of them. I don't like it. The minute that I feel some sort of sympathy for him, and he should want. What bothers me is that I feel like if it don't got nothing to do with his daughter, he don't have nothing to say, which is fine, which we get it, proud daddy and all that. But if it don't got nothing to do with your daughter, respectfully shut up. Right. Because if his daughter was bleeding left to right, he'd be a proud motherfucking dad. Sorry for the mouth, but he'd be a proud ass daddy. I don't want to hear it.
I also feel like it has to go back to what like Krista B said, where you're stuck in that old mentality. I'm like, in 2023, we're still questioning women doing the same things that men are doing in sports. Like, why are we still questioning that? Why is it still a debate? It's like every time I think we're so far ahead, and then like people like Ric Flair and like the old heads say these things, and I'm like, oh my God, the business still has a lot of growing to do. But yeah, like Tarakasha said, he will be at Raw 30 if they added him back in the intro. All's well that's end well. Look at their relationship with Hulk Hogan. They'll punish you a little bit, but then you're always welcome back.
Look at their relationship with their CEO. They banished him a little bit.
Oh my God, like can't even. Oh my God,
like it should just it's just like
it's at this point I can't even hear his name. I'm just tired of it. He's like Voldemort. He who shall not be named. I don't want to hear his name right now.
Yes,
it's just like give me
That-
some
that-
fact. If not,
they give you a
hush.
little,
I don't want to hear it.
Wait, they give you scandal?
they give you a little go stand in the corner for 15 minutes and come back when you learn the error of your ways. And then 15 minutes later, they get to go back and eat milk and fucking cookies and go play outside on the jungle gym. That's how it is. That's how it's always gonna be. But you know, it's all to respect those before that. Whatever. If it was, like I said, if it was his daughter, he'd be sitting there crying pride. But because it was somebody else, he thought he had to give an opinion. So there's that.
Yep.
And he can respectfully shove it.
Yes, he can.
He's a 30-something-year-old. He's a way above something-year-old who thinks he's still 30 years old in limousine riding, who just bled on his second to last match that he's supposed to retire from. So I really don't want to hear it. Like,
but here's the thing. It's not just Rick. There's a lot of guys that feel the same way Rick does.
Because they're all
so it
jealous.
goes for all of y'all.
Jealous.
It's not just Rick. It's a bunch of I've been checking social media and pulling up Twitter. There's a bunch of y'all that feel the same way Rick does.
Yep.
Right, because when women do things that men think they can do better, they get pissy. Yeah. Outside of wrestling topic, look at how they're shitting on Lori Harvey, but they in that fine ass British man from Snowfall after she just went out with Michael B. Jordan. Ooh, they don't care about the fact that she's not dating them. No, they give a fuck about the fact that she's moving like a dude. And they're mad about it. And she still looks fine. She doesn't have a wrinkle on her body. She's still stressed. And then she's starting to preach to other women that I don't date below my standards. I'm the prize at the end of the day. And if there's something I don't feel in that relationship that makes me happy, I leave. How pissed would you be if you heard your ex-girlfriend start talking like that, or your woman started treating you a different way because she done heard Lori Harvey ain't dealing with it, so she ain't got to put up with it? You wouldn't know how to handle it. So guess what? In the world of wrestling, when they see people like Britt Baker bleeding, or Ruby bleeding, or freaking Becky Lynch, people had shit to say about Becky Lynch doing that spot from the top at War Games. Because guess what? The men are not doing it for them anymore. The women are doing it for you. And even with Vince McMahon, the one thing I can say for sure that I know is going to stick is that he's going to be like, oh no, if I want Bianca Belair to get on top of that motherfucking stage, she's going to get top of that stage and jump because they're the main attraction now. He understands that. That's the only thing I can see him coming back that won't be affected. But do I see a bunch of petty men who are sitting in catering, not getting what they're not getting the spot that women do? Yes, and that's all where it's coming from. The bitches in catering. The bittiness in catering. That's where it's coming from.
Did we really have to bring up Lori Harvey dating like Michael B. Jordan's friend? Do we really need to do that? That's the only issue I have with that.
Yes,
cool.
Because how many
do
men
you, girl? But you know they're friends,
right? How many men have done that? I'm sorry, it's happened. I've watched it happen.
I mean,
it's almost happened to me.
I mean, that is true. Hollywood, they kind of do pass around girls like it's.
And it's such a small circle, small community. Small circle. And like me and my sister were just talking about this. Shout out to Letty, where it's like, you know, are we like we see them in pictures, but are they friends? You know what I mean? Like, are they friends? You know, it gets real.
Are they really friends, or is it like the Hollywood thing where it's like that's my boy and this and that, but I can't trash talk him because we may work together, but I don't want to say we don't fuck with each other. Like,
it's Hollywood.
Hollywood, they just. You need Venn diagrams to keep up who's sleeping with who in Hollywood.
Like, people have stolen each other's husbands in Hollywood, but it's because it's Lori Harvey because she's a beautiful young black woman.
For her, and she gives no fucks.
And she gives no fucks. And she shouldn't. Like, you literally in your 20s should be moving. Like, you should be trying all new food and moving on. Like, you don't like this, you like that. You don't like this, you like that. I dated like that in my 20s with no shame, but I also now in my 30s have a list of I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And if you do any of those things I don't like, you're still out. That's perfectly fine. And there's
that's the thing. And that's the thing is it's not just trying new foods, it's also how you were at 21 is not how you're gonna be at 25. How you were at 25 is not how you're gonna be at 30. How you were at 30 is not how you're gonna be at 35. People change. And it'll be like, Yeah, I like that McDonald's shit when I was 21, but now I actually want like legit steak. I don't really fuck with steak now. I actually want to go vegan. Like people change, taste change and stuff like that.
Things have to change, and I'm so sick and tired of all these veterans who are supposed to be sticking up for the evolution of the business, talking about women shouldn't bleed. They used to carry razor blades under your tongue. The fuck do you know about somebody naturally
or in your tape?
In your tape, like you know the industry already. You know all this. Like you're just mad because you're not able to do it no more, or you're just mad because it's not coming from a boys' perspective. Like leave the boys' club shit alone. We're done with the boys' club. The boys' club been dead. Like I feel like it's just that same old rhetoric that women should just if it was Ric Flair's WWE, let's be honest, they would still be valets, and his daughter would be the only women's champion. She'd be the Stephanie McMahon in our story, in his story. Period. So
and just to put a bow on it, like the women have been here. We've seen that in WWE where we went from the women's revolution to their main event in Raw, their main event in SmackDown, their main event in pay-per-views. They main event at WrestleMania more than one damn time. Women are a draw. AEW's realizing that. That's why these four women main event in Rampage. We've had women main event AEW Dynamite before. At some point, they are going to main event a pay-per-view on AEW. We've seen it in other companies. We just watched it weeks ago where Mercedes Moné pulled up during Wrestle Kingdom, during the first ever women's match in Wrestle Kingdom, and debuted as a wrestler. You're seeing women break down these barriers to where they are not only just here, they're ready to do the damn thing. Mm-hmm. You just got to get on board with it. It's been a decade now. Get on board or get lost.
Yeah. It's like, come on. Like, you know, we're here. Like you said.
We've been doing this since even before 2015? Like, do we really got to go back to Trish and Lita? Do we really got to go back to China? Do we got to go back to all the other women that we don't talk about as much, but have been doing that shit?
Yeah. And this is
the TNA days when the TNA women were just knocking it out the park. Like, do we really got to pull up receipts?
Like, it disappoints me the fact that, like, we finally, with women's wrestling, in a place where it's not, like, and my perspective is very clear on it, like, you got a bunch of women back in the day that weren't allowed to be as vocal with the creative direction that they were put in. And now you have that. So to see somebody that's been in the game, who had all the creative freedom in the world, just trying to shit on moments like that, it's discouraging. Like, not for nothing, like I said, like, we just got sympathy for you.
Right. We just let you
back. We just gave you your hall pass back. Don't let me take it away again, because you borderline me snatching the hall pass from you. So, like I said, I feel like if it was his daughter, he'd be singing praises high and wide, but it's not. So that's my take on that. Yeah. He just needs to mind his business.
I 100% agree. So I do now want to get into the present. A lot's been happening. Really quick though. Black Thoughts put in the comment about Willow's braids. So I had to find a photo of Willow's braids, and usually
bitch came ready for war.
Usually she has, her hair out and beautiful and purple. But I also like this match too, really quick, is because she's showing this like aggressive side to her. I love the braids. They're absolutely gorgeous. But shout out to Willow. She's doing her thing on AEW. I love you.
And shout out to their gear, because apparently they pulled out like Dudley Boy style camouflage looking gear. As a Dudley Boys fan, love it. Salute to y'all.
I loved it. So we're going to take a very quick break. Then we're going to get into Raw, SmackDown, some other fun stuff. And then we are going to welcome Wilkins, our special guest tonight. And we'll go into some other things. So make sure you go tweet, remind everybody, come to our Twitch channel, turn on Dynamite. We're here. It's a party. We're kind of just getting started.
Pull up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Krista B, one half of those wrestling girls, and we hope that you're enjoying this current episode that we have for you. I had to come in here and interject and plug ourselves real quick. We want to tell you about our merch exclusively on foryourwear.com. That's right. For Your Wear has all of those wrestling girls merch that you want and need, not only for yourself, but for your friends, your family, and your loved ones. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have tank tops. So please go over to foryourwear.com to make sure you get those exclusive merch, those exclusive deals, and tell them that TWG sent you.
Oh, Chris is so cute.
I look so cute in my shirt.
Right? Oh my god.
I be living for that shirt.
Krista might be joining us later, so that should be really fun.
She's doing a run-in. Okay.
She's doing a run-in. We have Wilkins coming on, but I want to get into what's been happening on the weekly shows. I feel like because there's been so much wrestling news, sometimes I'm like, so what happened this week? What happened that week? But how'd you guys like SmackDown and Raw lately? Did you stay up for Raw? Did it have you captivated?
Yo, Bianca pull-up game is strong. She didn't do that one.
Oh,
she was like this.
No.
So
she came out in them shorts. I was just like, Montez, God is good, and so are you, because God, she did. I felt like Martin when he saw Miss Trinidad, and he's like, "Yo, can I get the leg? Can I see the thigh?" He's just like, "Oh my god, oh my god." It's like, yo,
yeah.
It's not often she gets to floss like the legs and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, thank you, God.
Yes, she looked really, really, really good. She was back after that attack that Alexa had, and I already knew Bianca was gonna want the smoke. Like, you busted her face open. You had my girl gushing blood. No, yeah. So it was on.
She messed with the moneymaker.
Yes, oh my god, and that is a beautiful moneymaker. My champion is gorgeous. Like, no. So it's official. They will be facing off at Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship. I hate this render of Bianca. It doesn't look like her for some reason. Me and Krista B were talking about it. But I'm excited for this match. How about you guys?
I'm hoping this match is better than the... Oh, you think this is one and done? Well, I think this is now their second match, so I'm hoping they develop the chemistry from that first match, because that first match was kind of clunky and stuff like that, and they didn't have a rhythm. So hopefully they got everything kind of like fine-tuned to where this is much better, especially where, you know, you're about to be in the Alamodome. That's 50,000 plus in that stadium. But I have faith in it, especially like you saw going into their segment and how they ended that segment where Uncle Howdy's presence, and is he going to play a factor? That's where I'm like, normally I'm confident on Bianca winning the title, unless it's Bayley, then I get called out for my prediction on that. But right here, like for this one, I'm confident that she's going to retain, but then the Uncle Howdy stuff's like, I don't know. He keeps popping up. So is he going to play a presence in this? And how is that going to affect Alexa?
Right.
I'm really interested because now you're seeing more heavy dose of the Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, like stuff playing into it.
I like. I actually like it.
I do too.
Everybody was kind of wondering when she came back, like, what's going on? Like, we're just going to pretend that everything's okay with Alexa. And this is kind of just showing us, like, no, it's not.
And Bray and Alexa there was never a conclusion to that. So that's unfinished business.
Mm-hmm. It is unfinished business. And I particularly wasn't a fan of Alexa Bliss joining the Firefly Funhouse thing. I didn't think she really added much to it. I was like, I'm not convinced. But this time around, I like how they eased into it. I think Alexa Bliss has so much charisma. Her character work is one of the top tier, in my opinion. So I do like this. I do like it because it was almost like she won the fans over again. Like, and then she started kind of turning. So it wasn't just like, oh God, we're doing this again. It was really just like, okay, like what's happening? Oh shit. Like, oh, okay. Oh wait. And now they're like going there.
Going at it.
Yeah. So I don't think because of that, I don't think it's going to be a one and done. I think they're going to kind of drag it out. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I wouldn't mind if the title changed at Royal Rumble simply because I mix it up. You know, like I love Bianca.
Really?
I think she's had a great reign, but I want mix it up. Losing it at a big four or a big PLE, whatever it's called, is not the worst thing in the world, especially if they're going to have it be a long going feud.
I know this is recorded, right? You know this is recorded. Yeah. You're picking against the Black Queen the Cassidy goddess to go take that title off of her.
I want to be shocked
before Mania.
I'm sorry.
You know you're picking against Bianca Belair on a recorded session, right? I'm just stating for the record. This is not me doing it this time. This is Queen PR.
Hey,
this is her.
So this is why I don't want that, because why? She's won at WrestleMania twice. Why can't she go into WrestleMania as the champion? Allow her
especially
to have
this
that.
year.
Like, we don't want her to lose at WrestleMania. I get it, but like,
I'd rather her lose it at Royal Rumble and regain it at WrestleMania just to
for the third time.
Then that means another
long ass title reigns. Like, I'm sorry, mix it up. I love that Stone Cold dropped the belt sometimes, and that in pay-per-views you didn't know who was gonna win. I love that shit. I love the okey doke. You know, let's spice it up a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm not always gonna be rooting for Bianca. And I know, like, I'm gonna be devastated because I'm gonna be there. That if she does lose, I will be devastated. But
if she loses
now, that watches the weekly shows, like, mix it up. Like, I'm sorry. Call me what you want.
Here's my counter argument. We just mixed it up on SmackDown with Charlotte Flair only 2 weeks into her title reign, not even a week. We just mixed it up there. We've been mixing it up with the women's tag team titles. And remember, this is right now, as of today, this is the only official women's match on the card with the titles being defended. Charlotte has yet to be announced to be defending her SmackDown Women's Championship. The rest of Damage Control has not been announced to be defending their women's tag team titles. So all we got is Women's Rumble, Bianca.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what's gonna happen, or what Bayley and Bianca. Or
if Alexa loses the match, or if Alexa loses the match, but then pulls a Brock Lesnar and jumps into the Rumble to try to get another title match later.
That's always a possibility.
We're less than 2 weeks from Rumble. The noggin is working. And we will talk about my favorite later.
Listen, I'm done predicting because I was the one that went on Twitter and
I don't like
went on TikTok. I was on TikTok.
Yes, Black Thoughts. This is official. Bianca versus Alexa, the Rumble for the title. That is now official.
I was the one on TikTok, like, the Nile is a river in Egypt. Like, Sasha left WWE. And people were like, no, it's not happening. You're wrong. And guess what the hell happened? We got Mercedes Moné.
And hopefully we get Mercedes Moné.
It needed to be a one and done. It needed to be a one and done. And Homegirl needs to lose her mind. That way, whoever they have win the Royal Rumble, hopefully they focus their attention on Charlotte Flair, and it should not be who should not be named. So I don't need to see that again. We need to be one and done with that. I really wanted. I mean, my Royal Rumble pick is Rhea Ripley. Like, I feel like it's time.
So next week, our fan club is literally going to be all about Royal Rumble because I'm, like, so excited. And we're going to choose I'm not going to choose a pick, but we're going to do some predictions. We're going to do some picks. We're going to say some of our favorite moments. But I do feel like Rhea needs a WrestleMania moment. I think she's kind of old one after that whole, like, thing with Charlotte. So I do hope that's what Mania ends up being.
And the way this is getting booked right now, it's Rhea versus the Field. This is probably the most one-sided booking for going into the Women's Rumble since the inaugural one, where Asuka was the heavy favorite, and it was Asuka versus the Field.
Right. That's such a good point.
Such a good point.
I cannot wait to get into all of those. But I do want to bring on.
We'll discuss that next week.
Also, yes. If you missed the fan club for some reason because you're not supposed to miss no goddamn fan club episodes, like, what the hell are you doing?
How dare you?
Yours truly will be featured on a very, very big episode returning due to the Jobbers Tears podcast with Janelle from HR and my lovely, lovely friend Mimi from Black Wrestling. We will be doing the Big Four preview from Royal Rumble live the Thursday before the Royal Rumble. So, again, if you miss fan club, because you're not supposed to be missing no goddamn fan club, like, you need to be put in the corner. If you're missing it, you will also see talking about predictions, talking about past Royal Rumbles. We're going to be covering it all. So, tune in for that.
So we get a fan club, Jobber Tears, and Black Wrestling collaboration.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Excellence. Excellence.
I always love the Big Four because it's when Janelle gets to have just the ladies on. So Krista B and I were actually on the Big Four back in 2019. And that was such a fun experience. We had just got started and we were on with the Deadass Girls, Janelle, and it was a lot of fun. I'm very excited for you, Ciendol. We love Mimi. We love Janelle. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I want to bring on Krista B.
Krista!
Friend! How many of us have been friends? Ones we can depend on.
The hair,
friends.
The hair, the nails, the earrings. Yes.
Everything's there. Everything's there.
Across the board. Across the board.
Krista heard us talking about Bianca Belair and was like, that's my time. let me just summon in here. That's my time.
I was legit watching like this is about to make and this is not that show.
I'm about to slide on through.
However,
you saw me get emotional.
No, Pete, I mean, to be honest, as much as I wouldn't want the belt to change, I would want Bianca to be our sorry, my camera's giving disgusting. I would definitely we always want Bianca to be our forever champion, like forever longest reigning Black woman, female champion, whatever. Like that's what we want. Mm-hmm. If it was to change, right? I don't think I would be mad at it changing. I just wouldn't want it to happen at Rumble. Like I really feel like she needs to have a WrestleMania stretch from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've had that. I feel like the only person we probably had that with was Charlotte. With who?
Didn't Becky have the championship for almost that long?
Becky, yeah.
Yeah,
like got to 36 and then relinquished after 36 because of the pregnancy.
Because she got pregnant, right. So yeah, we had that. So why not see it again with somebody who looks like us?
I like the chase. I don't know.
Well, let them chase after Mania. She can carry into Mania and don't have to walk out of Mania champion. Because now that Charlotte is champion, people want to see a Bianca and Charlotte match. Nobody's taking that belt off of Charlotte on SmackDown. Who's over there for them to take it off of? Ronda? That's how she won it. Like there's nobody on SmackDown for her to take it off.
Leak right now.
Right. The women's division is sad on SmackDown right now.
On SmackDown, they are building Raquel Rodriguez. That has been the one constant these last month plus.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Outside of Charlotte and Rhea, they are building her.
They are. Yeah.
Oh,
they have been consistent with her.
If you notice with SmackDown, like I noticed before, what was the last NXT pay-per-view? They started taking a little bit of NXT and putting them on SmackDown as well. So they're trying. So SmackDown is becoming what it used to be. Which I call it the right. So it's the test run. So when you don't have talent, what do? You send some of the NXT to test run. I know a house show, Trick Williams was actually doing a SmackDown house show. I know Carmelo Hayes, same thing. Cora Jade and Roxanne have all been doing it. Oh my God, him and this Magnum on and stuff. I'm done. Anyway.
And NXT's got a pay-per-view coming in a couple of weeks in Charlotte. Like that one's in like what
is it, Valentine's Day Vengeance?
Yeah, something like that. It's like mid-February.
Yeah.
So they're a couple weeks away from theirs.
And that one's good. That's when I think that's when Mandy Rose won the title, even though she's no longer there. I think that's when she won the title, wasn't it? Or am I wrong?
I don't know, because Mandy had that for over a year. So it's like, I forget when she got it. But it was a long time since she had it.
Yeah. How y'all feel about Raquel Rodriguez, though? Because I personally find her boring as hell. But what are y'all thoughts? Because clearly, she was NXT Women's Champion. Like, they are clearly pushing her.
I liked her before they started to make her smile. I feel like they're making her smile. They're making her a nice person. Like they're forcing her to be a baby face instead of it organically happening. Just does not work for her. Like when she was with Dakota, them two together, and then even when she started feuding with Dakota,
that was good.
They should just left it as that. Let her still be on the vengeance and the war path. Let her like run through the division to where she was running. Now she can run right into Charlotte, and it can be a head-to-head instead of smiling her way, being seen as a punk. Look, instead of like being a punk and getting beat up by Ronda and Shayna every 2.5 seconds, she's in this picture with a broken arm. Don't nobody want to see that. Well, for kayfabe's sake, with a broken arm. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see that Raquel that has that fire, that anger, like that true.
I feel like,
you know, essence of being mean.
Yeah, I agree with Krista. They missed the window where she could be the Jade of SmackDown, just kick bitches down. Like, she can literally roundhouse your ass. Just let her start roundhousing baby faces and give her that. Because not everybody can beat a baby face. Not everybody's meant to do everything that you think this will do. It's just not working. So, like, if you want her to just pick people up and put them down, let her do that. You got her flexing her muscles for what? Nobody's gonna get pure joy out of her flexing her muscles. We get enough of that from the guys. Let her just be on some like
we get enough of that from her dude, Braun Strowman.
Exactly. Like, let her just
another one that don't
she should be able to literally pick her right foot up and just put her foot right through Shayna Baszler's face. But they not let her do that. Just let her do that. There's nothing wrong with letting her do that. So yeah, I agree. Like, some people are better heels than faces.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is? That's uninspiring. She's uninspiring. She's okay. She's uninspiring. She does nothing that
she's industry mediocre.
She's solid, but right now,
that's the word of the day: mediocre.
Yeah, she's mediocre.
Mediocre strong. Mediocre. I don't know if I want to go there yet because she's a work in progress, and you can see her trying to. They're throwing her to a fire, and they're like, you know what? True, but at the same time, this is why I don't want her in the title picture, because I have a much better idea, which is, all right, her. If you hotshot her to the title, it's not really gonna do anything. It's not gonna get over. It's gonna do damage. We just saw this happen with Rhea Ripley.
The needle.
For that, the person who you do this for, and this is where I hope they go for Mania. If let's say Rhea wins and ends up choosing Bianca, who fights Charlotte, a returning Naomi, have her returning Naomi, have her get that title, have her beat down Charlotte, turn heel, and join Bloodline. Boom.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
I don't think.
Here's why. Naomi's glow gimmick, Naomi's glow persona, that's her. Now, I'm not saying she can't be a heel, but speaking to her personally, she never really liked the heel character. It was never really like, it was forced upon her. She did it out of frustration. So even her coming back into the company, I'm not expecting her to come back 100% happy because of the fact of how they shitted on Sasha, her and Sasha beginning. But I don't expect her to fully come back on and be ready to take on Charlotte yet. Like, not saying that she can't do it, but we already know how WWE moves. So when it comes down to, especially when it comes down to the women, and then when it comes down to Charlotte. So yeah, if she's with the Bloodline, it's just an automatic straight shot to Charlotte.
I don't see her joining the Bloodline.
But then
join the Hurt Business.
Yo, I don't know if you saw Lovely's TikTok, how she broke that shit down on how she should join the Hurt Business instead of
the story. The story works better for the Hurt Business to me than the Bloodline. And Charlotte does want to work. She said it in many interviews, like she wants to work with Naomi. So I could see her coming back to make an impact and facing Charlotte personally. Like,
the only pushback I'll have on that is, you see how in WWE they prefer married couples stay together. So that will mean Naomi on Raw, Jimmy Uso. They're separating the tag team titles, so they're making sure the Bloodline stays on SmackDown. We have that match coming up at Raw 30 for the Raw tag team titles. So they're starting to, all right, we need to start separating these two because we can't have y'all floating on both. And then if she goes to the Hurt Business, all of them are on Raw. So now you're separating married couples, and that's something that WWE's done better over the last couple of years, to be like, you know what we're not going to do? That.
Yeah.
Bianca and Montez gonna stay on the same show. Seth and Becky gonna stay on the same show. Yeah. Raquel and Braun gonna stay on the same show, and so on and so on and so on.
That's true. I am curious though, is like who, like I know we touched on it, but they have to start building somebody up for Charlotte to feud with going into Mania. Unless they make the Royal Rumble winner be the story for whoever, Charlotte goes into Mania.
Or what you could do is at the Rumble, you have Elimination Chamber. You can have, all right, let the Rumble winner pick whoever they want to face. Let's say they pick Bianca. All right, then how do we get to Charlotte? Elimination Chamber, winner gets Charlotte. Now I just booked your Elimination Chamber match. You got 3 on Raw, 3 on SmackDown, boom. That's how you get your title match. Or you have your Rumble winner pick Charlotte, and then you do Elimination Chamber. That's how you get the Bianca match.
Yeah.
You're welcome, WWE.
Honestly, they need to come to our Twitch channel for booking ideas because
That's it. If you need creative ideas, just come to the fan club.
We just gave you a gem right there. We just gave you a booking idea. Boom.
Or sound off. So you had Krista B sound off because we just be throwing out theories.
No, seriously.
That too. Krista be giving gems.
Sense. It like writes itself. It's like, how do we, like, sometimes WWE writes itself into such the weird places with stories where it's like, you could have just did this, right? Like, and we would have got to, where it makes sense to everyone. Everyone's happy. Everyone's entertained. Everyone wants to tune in every week. That's the whole point.
And it's honestly better for the titles because we saw what happened at 37 where we waited till Bianca finally picked Sasha, even though we knew that we were getting Sasha Bianca. But then what it did was it affected Asuka because then it was like, then what are we doing for Asuka? And a lot of it had to do with Lacey Evans got pregnant and that whole Charlotte, we're going to involve Ric Flair, we're going to not involve him.
Oh my God, that was wild.
Is Charlotte, we're going to get Charlotte Asuka rematch? No, Charlotte has something going on. It ain't COVID, but we don't know what's going on. All right, so then let's hot shot Rhea. So I would prefer if you make that decision quick. It doesn't have to be like Becky Lynch the very next night. Ronnie, you knew I was coming back for that title. You ain't got to do that the next night. But I would personally love before Elimination Chamber, like have your Rumble winner pick someone. So then we kind of know where we're going with Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Just saying.
You know what, though? It's like now we finally have that equal opportunity to build because building has been so great in WWE as of late that it's kind of hard not to. Like, I finally feel excited, like, to see what the Royal Rumble, like, I can't, like, everybody's going to have their predictions. But this is the first time where I'm like, I'm not hoping that my prediction is actually right. This is my first time seeing it for what it is. Like, I really hope that they shock the shit. I'm with P. I want to be shocked too. Like, even if they don't choose Rhea Ripley, if you choose somebody that we didn't expect to win, even with the men's Royal Rumble, I was like wrestling with myself. I'm like, do I really want it to be Cody? Do I really think it should be Seth freaking Rollins? Should I really think it should be this person? Like, I want to be genuinely shocked. And that's because now I'm trusting the creative process of WWE finally. So
I think we'll get a shock because last year's was so predictable. Once Sasha got eliminated super early, we knew Ronda was winning, and everyone saw Brock jumping in the Rumble and winning that from a mile away. So it became very like anticlimactic. Yeah, so last year's became very anticlimactic. Yeah. I think WWE knows that too, because a lot of people were just like, this was a waste of time.
Yeah, really.
So I think Tripp's gonna go into this like, yeah, people really did not like either Rumble. And I have no inclination on going back and watching either one of those, honestly.
Ever in life.
I haven't watched it, even with all
out of all the Royal Rumbles I decided to watch again, I did not watch that one. Like I did.
No. I might rewatch it. I might watch along, but I had no interest because I was really excited because of all the female legends that came back. So I was like hyped, like really, really hyped. And then I realized like it was kind of just used, like it didn't lead to anything. For Ronda to just come out of nowhere and win it, it was just like, it was like
we
long.
We were sitting at Power Slam.
The Legends.
We were
at Legends. Like as soon as Ronda's music hit, everybody in the bars was like, all right, can we get a drink? Can we get some food?
Yeah,
Like, we're not paying
you're
attention.
right.
I
think it
was
was.
home. We was on the live stream, Krista.
We was on live stream, but you weren't there. I was there, and everything went like up here to like, all right, can we get a check? Let's go home.
You really was Sasha back from an ankle injury, and just to insert her number one, and mind you, she was the heavy favorite going in. If not Ronda, it was supposed to be Sasha. You got to go in 1, and she goes out 10. You gave it to Daniel Bryan 2015 shit, which was like
right. I'm about to say they Daniel Bryan her.
You just got rid of the heavy favorite. Fuck, I guess Ronda's winning. Just cue the music.
That really fucking sucked. And look at
took
now,
the air out because it was just like, damn.
Go. Yeah, I didn't go, but I was sitting in my house. I'm like, hey yo.
I was this close to going to St. Louis for that Rumble. I was that close to going.
Because I turned to Keith and I said, watch her win. I just know you're gonna win. And Keith felt like, bless his soul. No, I don't think so. I think you're gonna visit. And what happened with
is he new to wrestling?
That's what
he's giving new. He's giving new.
Yeah, look at my boy like that. He's trying. He's trying out here, Chris.
Oh, he's new. Okay.
Give him a chance. He's
better than other people that we know.
No, I do hope this Royal Rumble winner, like, actually, for the women, it actually feels significant. It feels like it's a part of a story. It feels like it's leading into a Mania story that we're interested in, that we can, like, you know, watch the weekly shows for the next 3-4 months and be like into it. Because again, Ronda really she didn't really do it for me ever since she came back at Royal Rumble. And I think the other thing too is, if you're gonna come in the Royal Rumble randomly as a comeback and take it all, like, let it be a person we want to come back. Nobody wanted Ronda to come back.
Yeah,
so
it felt Roman Reigns 2015, where it's like, fuck.
No, I low-key wanted Ronda to come back because of how, and I always say this, because of her first run, how much she improved during every match, during every pay-per-view, during everything. So with that being said, I'm like, yeah, Ronda got to come back, and we about to, and then she came back. She really came back how she left. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this. Like, I'm just here for a check. I'm just here because they're paying me way more to be here, to be home, than they pay me on maternity leave to be sent home being on my ass. Like, she came up with that attitude. I'm just like, bro, your attitude shows you're not a good heel.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hear you. The counter argument is she just had the baby not too long before Rumble. So it's like, I don't know how women's bodies work. You three are much better suited to answer that question than I do.
We don't have kids.
I'm not trying to hear that.
But it's like, you just had baby, and it's like, you want to, boom, we're wrestling. Like, wait, can you do that?
It's not even that. Like, look at how Becky came back. Like,
I was just about to say that.
Look at how Lacey came back.
In better shape.
She like the Nile is a river in Egypt.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that's not.
Yeah,
it.
like, look at how Lacey came back. Look at Tamina. Look at who else is a mother? And Asuka. Come on, you can't even
Maurice. Let's be real.
I was like Maurice.
Like,
Bella
twins. They both came back after having a baby.
When Nikki had her baby, Brie Bella was on fire. Brie was on baby number 2. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that?
So I'm not trying to hear I'm really not trying to hear the whole.
This is why I asked the question.
She really just didn't care. She let the fans of Twitter, the negativity of Twitter and stuff, get to her.
Get to her head.
Responded back, and then when she decided to come back, she decided to come back on her own terms. On some, I don't give a fuck. I'm just here, and it shows. You projected what the ones who sit in their basements and run out of lotion, if you know what I mean, and you be on Twitter all the time, dictate how you should really be and act in wrestling. And that's why you came back and you were not a fan favorite anymore. You're trash right now.
This is when I need to get a church.
This is why I asked the question. I just let y'all tee off on it. I just served that up for y'all.
No, because not for nothing, like, let's call a spade a spade. You and Becky came back at the same time. Bitch, I'm really not trying to hear because you had a baby. Like, not for nothing. You had people in the back coaching you on not how to give a fuck about what the internet has to say, and you took it and you never listened. Because
did Becky come back at the same time? Because I thought Becky came back over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
But we're talking about after kids, the span of it.
Oh yeah, Becky
Ronda
hit
didn't
like
come back just after having a baby.
To this day, I'll say it. If you are a true Becky Lynch fan, watch her work before baby and then watch her work after baby. She hit another goddamn level when she came back.
Yeah,
which is like, I've seen it in person multiple times. I'm like, yo, what the hell did she do after the baby? Because
she only got better.
Was it the CrossFit? Did she switch up diets? Did she switch up training? Because it just hit another level. It was like, you were already good in ring, but you just hit a fucking like, bruh. My jaw's on the floor, just like, how? And you just had a baby.
That she went face this time around. She went back to the man's character because it's that level of respect there. And that's when you know you're good, because if you can be a heel and we boo you, and then it gets to a point where we have to cheer you because we just like respect what you're doing. And I think the men had to come back at this point. And I think, like you said, Justin, she came back full force. And I hope they have a story for her more going into, keep the title off of her. But I want to see, is the Bayley shit going to go anywhere? They have a steel cage match at Raw 30. So,
I'm seriously debating to pull up to Philly just for that match.
Do it. I really want to go to Philly. I promise you, I really want to drive out.
All the horsewomen, I have never seen Bayley and Becky get into it in person. I've seen Sasha Charlotte. I've seen Sasha Bayley. I've seen the other iterations. I've never seen Becky.
We had the pleasure of seeing all four at once.
We did. We definitely did. It was so exciting. But I want to go into break so we can get into our very, very, very special guest, a friend of the show. Actually, more like family. Our special guest for a fan club is Mr. Wilkins of Jobber Tears. I can't even list all the things that this person does.
He is family. I got all my brothers with me.
He is a producer. He is everything, and he is a
trainer
wrestler
extraordinaire.
Is going to be wrestling his very first match.
Yes, sir.
Against Simon Miller. This is a match that has been years in the making. And I am so excited. I'm such a proud friend. I'm so excited for this match. So I'm excited.
Shout out to Steph for sponsoring this match.
100%. Shout out to Hardy Wrestling. And
shout out to Hardy Wrestling. Shout out to Battle Club Pro. Shout out to Brooklyn, who's hosting the event.
100%. So we'll take this break and then we will be back with Wilkins.
So what's up? What's your name?
Justin.
Krista B. Ebony.
My name's Vaughn.
It's Lawrence from 2.5 Bros. You know your favorite whole host, Mr. Hitter with the wee wee. Sean.
Who do you want to fight, or who do you think that you could beat in a wrestling match?
The Miz.
Why?
Because I know.
Is that it?
Yeah, I got hands. That's why.
I pick Spike Dudley. That's an easy match for me.
I mean, Spike, he did some shit though. Like you really.
Nah, that's a fact. No, but I will smoke him though. Me personally, I would smoke him. But like other people,
simple. Rey Mysterio, kick his ass. Like damn. Who's that flying?
Baby, do it.
Sasha Banks.
Why?
I'll beat that bitch up.
God damn.
That's why his move is 619. You don't know which area code he's in. Is he in the 212? Is he in the 619?
I'll beat her.
Why though?
Yeah,
You just
Brooklyn.
hey. You feel me?
Damn, I was gonna say Brock Lesnar.
I like the confidence. Like this.
He's on some type of alcohol. He said Brock Lesnar. He's wilding like this wasn't in the octagon or some shit.
A wrestling match. You said a wrestling match, but definitely in a boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. In a real boxing match with gloves and everything, hey, fuck with me, bro.
Hey,
I'm taking Zack Ryder. I'm going easy. Easy W. He's from Long Island. I'm in Brooklyn. Son, what's up?
That's it. Yeah.
The person I feel like that I could probably take on and beat in a match is definitely Emma. Emma came back. She did her thing, but I could take her.
Okay. Tell the people all your information for.
Make sure that you guys follow those wrestling girls everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook. Join our discussion group. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to our Patreon. You can follow me, Miss Krista B, MS_KRISTAB_, and on Twitter, Miss_Krista B.
Yes, sir.
I'm out of here.
But definitely in the boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
MS_KRISTAB. I cannot believe.
You know what makes me laugh?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Apologies to Rey Mysterio. I know Latinos, we're not supposed to be doing it to each other, but yo, I was on 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Krista, wait, do you still think you can work Emma?
Absolutely. I'll beat that bitch up. And the words of I'll beat that bitch up.
Everybody was so confident. Welcome to Fan Club Wilkins.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
I hear you.
Salute, fam.
So, to go back to the commercial we just saw, so with the gentleman his name is Sean, for anybody that doesn't know, that spoke about Brock Lesnar. So, can Sean actually beat him? No, but he made a good case because when Brock was in UFC, he didn't know how to strike very well.
Right.
That's why he said if you put him with some boxing gloves, he would win. But Brock would eat him alive. Like eat him alive.
Also, in his defense, the drinks were flowing.
Like I feel bad.
No, that's just
like you said, Brock Lesnar. Like you didn't listen. Like you didn't comprehend well. Like
Dustin, that's Sean on a regular basis.
He was sober probably when he said that.
Yeah, he was one drink in when he said that.
Cheers to that, man.
Don't
fight Brock Lesnar, please.
Yo, I do want to shout out the Colton Show though. He does that. He goes to parties and he does like little fun things like that. I want to shout out Letty who invited him to the event. I think it added a lot. The wrestling club definitely had a good time. I think it added a lot. And that video gets me every fucking time.
I promise you, that's my new promo. Like I just had to start laughing because I saw Justin like mimicking me. And mind you, I don't even know how many drinks in I was, but that's just me on a regular. So I'm just like, was
Brooklyn
it
came out of you?
Was it drunk me? Was it me? I don't know, but I'm here.
Yeah,
she was there.
Good times. So Wilkins, you are family, obviously.
What's going on, guys? Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to have you on, thank you for giving us your time, is because you are wrestling this Saturday.
Yes,
a hell of a weekend.
Like I have to talk to you about it. And I was saying earlier how this match against Simon Miller has been in the making for years. I'm not even sure people know even that like wrestling is a part of your resume. Like, how did this match come to be?
So Joe Kim came to me about it like 3 years ago. I think it was after or before Jarvis. I don't know the exact time. He was like, "Yo, what do you think of you going up against Simon Miller?" And at the time, why is it just me on the screen right now?
I put you on the screen.
Man. We had to throw you a ball, give it the ISO.
I was like, "What the fuck did I just do?" And then, but long story short, so he was like, "Yo, do you want to do the match?" So when we started the podcast, for people who don't know, I'm part of the Jabba Tears podcast. I'm 1/3 of it. I was like, yo, I want to get into wrestling. I want to wrestle. So this is my thing, and I thoroughly believe, like most podcasters should do it, experience hitting the mat one time in your life. Like, just experience it. Just so you can understand what wrestlers go through. Now, I should know better because I talk wild shit on the internet. You can curse right on here.
Yeah, you do talk a lot of shit, but I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, so like Shelton Benjamin don't like me not right now. So does me and him. A couple other wrestlers probably don't like me. Probably Sarah Logan too. But I never mean them as people. I mean their characters. But they coincide with each other very well. So character to person, whatever. So one of the best things was to better understand wrestling on another level. And I was like, I've always wanted to wrestle, so why not do it? And about like a year ago, this old head told me this: you have a certain amount of summers to live. So do what you want to do during these summers, which means the years that you have to live. Like the average black man lives I think until 69. So, you know what I mean? Like you gotta experience everything. And then I started. I'm not even gonna say I'm the greatest in the world. I'm not that. I'm all right. I'm barely decent, but I'm learning. It's a process, and you start understanding how hard it is. Mm-hmm. And that's why when it comes to the actual skill part, I never really get on people about that, because anybody in WWE and predominantly AEW are fucking good. Like they've reached that level to another place. But one of my biggest things, and one thing that I've had to learn, everybody on that level can wrestle. Not everybody's charismatic on that level, which is a conversation for later. But to go back to Queen PR's question was, yeah, he came to me about, I was like, yo, let's fucking do this. Then the pandemic happened and shut down the world. Like the world. Yeah. Whatever you were doing, it cut it off. I had projects, like literally about to sign contracts. And they were like, oh, the world's shutting down. Yeah. So that was one of the things. Then last year, Jobber Slam, we were supposed to, it was another show we were supposed to wrestle him. I was supposed to wrestle him, and he got injured from another show in London. So that couldn't happen. Then we were doing Jobber Slam 2, and that's going to be the match that we're going to do it, the place we're going to do it. Then the same day, he gets booked with Thunder Rosa.
Oh,
wow.
Because literally Thunder Rosa hit him up an hour before Joakim hit him up. And for people who don't know who Joakim is, he is one of the co-owners of Battle Club Pro, and also my co-host is a co-owner of Battle Club Pro as well. One of the few Black and Latinos that own America. And she's a woman. So now it finally happened. It's been weird because I bumped into him at WrestleMania like twice. And so it's been a great build-up leading up to it. And oddly enough, we're somewhat like similar, but somewhat different. Mm-hmm. We're from different worlds, but we're very much alike. We actually like a lot of the same things. So it works as a great matchup in kayfabe world. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like Bizarro Wilkins or Bizarro Simon. It's like it.
Oh my God! Yes.
It just works out that way of how things are. But it's a great opportunity for myself. Great opportunity for him to be over here. I don't plan on wrestling any longer after this. This is my retirement match. So this
is your 1D, one and done.
One and done.
First and last.
Shout out to King Von. What's up, baby?
Grand opening, grand closing.
Grand opening, grand closing. I'm not gonna pull a Ric Flair and come back numerous times. Shout outs to Rick.
I can agree with you on, making sure like everybody should know what a mat feels like. Like I did a documentary, and although I didn't feel the mat, like I never hit the mat, I got a bad back or whatever. I know what the ropes feel like. I know what it feels like under my feet. Like I know what it's like to run across. Like everything hurts, and then to hear it from somebody else getting slammed, like it's completely different from what you see on TV, and it's completely different from even being in an arena full of people at a live show. To be in a gym, which is much more smaller, much more enclosed, and to see how like you see the dust come up off these mats every time you take a bump, or every time you take you do an arm drag or whatever it is. So Wilkins, I definitely congratulate you and commend you for pursuing a dream, wrestling in your first match, your first and possibly last match, and and doing it in Brooklyn, because there's times in me where I be like, yo, I think I want to try to take a bump. I think I'm going to try to do a shoot. But then I realized, like, I have lingering injuries. I could hit wrong one way and it'd be a wrap for me.
I fucked myself up. So let's go down the list.
There's a list.
In practice, we were practicing. What were we doing? Code reds.
Ooh.
So not a code red. The other one where you jump over the person. What's the name?
Sunset flip.
Sunset flip. Yes. Shout out to Justin.
You gonna know?
That's that lucha stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to
people.
That's that lucha shit. Have the left hand, your right hand.
My cousin's from another country, but let's continue.
That's that. So one of the biggest things is that we learn a lot of lucha stuff because my coach is Amazing Red.
Ooh,
so that's the reason. That's why I said that's that lucha stuff, Justin.
For those who don't know, Amazing Red, every time Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné comes to New York City, that's the person who she goes trains, and you always see on her social media. She hypes him all the time.
So he's literally the godfather of modern day wrestling. A lot of people don't give him the props for. So he'll teach us lucha stuff, and then also regular like American style wrestling. And a couple of high flying things. Just so his whole thing is that you can be comfortable wrestling anybody. Because one thing about lucha is American style is more on more left hand, while lucha is more right handed. So it's different footing, different arm, different positions of the body and everything. So anyways, I'm doing we're practicing sunset flips. Dude's bent over, pause. And I was like, yo, I gotta clear him. And this is going to be easy. I just have to clear him. I cleared him, didn't grab him, and I fell right on my neck.
Ooh. No.
Right on top of my neck. So that happens. I think I was knocked off like 2.5 seconds. Like a millisecond I was knocked. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, are you all right? I started laughing because I laugh when I'm angry or I'm in pain. That's just how I do.
That's how you cope.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Not Vaughn telling me don't be like Edge. I know better.
So I do that, and then I get up and I was like, fuck, this is horrible.
Oh my God.
Another time I took a German, landed the wrong way, landed on my shoulder.
It's hard to listen to.
Oh my gosh! And as a person who has tears in their rotator cuffs, I'm hurt for you. Okay.
Nah.
Yeah, you're talking to somebody who's been through a car accident, and I've heard that that's what wrestling is like. It's like literally going through a car accident. You just described 2 crashes. Yeah, I'd be one.
Just describe my car accident that I had last 2 years ago.
But the thing about it, it's like it's when people's like, don't do this shit at home. Don't do this shit at home. Like that
don't
shit is
be a
like,
bonehead.
Don't do this shit at home.
So wait, what do you feel about all these TikToks and these like reels of people doing wrestling? And like, I saw somebody wrestling at a Waffle House. I saw like a wrestling match break out in a Walmart. It's like all over TikTok. So, like,
I know you're talking about the social media guys that be wrestling like everywhere.
They
wrestle like impromptu
everywhere.
wrestle match.
But they actually are trained though.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Actually,
you can tell.
They're fully trained, and they actually, if you watch it, it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe. And that's one of the other things is I got trust issues, is understanding that you have to trust the person that you're with in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, legit, you're giving your body to this person and you have to let it go.
So how do you overcome that? Like, how do you personally overcome your trust?
I still haven't overcome that. What the fuck?
Okay. I mean, but you've worked somewhat. Like you've not to say you fully overcome it, but you're trusting enough to actually give your body to somebody while you're in the ring. So how do you even overcome a small part of that? Like for you to like go into your mind and be like, okay, we practiced this. This is what it's going to be. I would trust the process in this. Like, how did you talk yourself off that cliff?
Well, it was. You just gotta do it. You can't be scared because honestly speaking, I've always been taught that if you're scared, you're gonna get hurt.
That's real.
Because let's say you flinch, you're gonna move the wrong way. Because you're supposed to fall a certain type of way. So if I'm flinching, I'm gonna move a certain type of way, and it's gonna happen. It's a natural reaction. Our bodies are meant to protect ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like that's literally what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna punch you in the face. You're gonna step back, but you gotta. It's practice, overdue practice. And you gotta trust the person that you're with. And I've been blessed where the people that I work at school know what they're doing. Now my problem is I'm fucking stiff. So I work a little stiff, so I have to get better at that, which is why I don't get on Jade. Mm-hmm. A lot of people get on Jade's wrestling ability. Mm-hmm. And the reason why, because she's a little stiff, but she's a former lifter. Same thing with Bianca. If you watch how and Mark Henry had the same issue. Which is why he has so many injuries. When you're a lifter, you make your body rigid. That's what you naturally do when you're lifting. I'm a former powerlifter, so that's what you're used to. So when you have to become loose but make sure you look stiff, it's the hardest transition. And over the years, you've seen Bianca do it, slowly get better, and she's getting a whole lot better. And Jade is slowly starting to get better at it too. But it's when you're lifting, you're stiff, so you have to get better at doing that better and movement patterns.
Yeah,
all big dudes are fucking don't move well. When he first got there, did not move well. But the fact that he was a former football player made things easier. I still think Goldberg is top 3 of the Attitude Era, but that's a different conversation.
That's definitely a different conversation.
Different conversation, but a fair one.
A fair point. I do have another era. Because as I recall, he wasn't in WWE's Attitude Era. He was in WCW. So whose Attitude Era are we talking about?
I'm talking about that with the Monday Night Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Goldberg was putting butts in 2 seats.
Yeah, he absolutely was. 100,000.
The streak was the
butts in 2 seats.
He was a needle mover. He was 100% a needle mover. I definitely think that's a fair point.
No, it's a fair point. We just gotta use our words carefully, because when you say Attitude Era, you automatically go to WWE. Now, if you would have said top 3 Monday Night Wars, absolutely, I agree with you.
But Attitude Era technically speaking is
WCW. Out the Monday Night
analytically,
Wars. So that's a fair
very
point.
Analytical people. Era. Analytically, I'm with Krista, because when you think Attitude Era, I think WWE. When I hear Monday Night Wars, I'm thinking WWF versus WCW.
I think you can't talk about one without talking about the other. But again, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a different talk.
I'm just having a beverage.
Right. But I and he definitely made an impact. But I have a question. So you talked about how somebody told you that you should take a bump if you're going to be in the wrestling space to definitely own that appreciation. You also mentioned why you don't. You can understand why people criticize Jade, but you also understand why she moves that way. Is there another wrestler that after you started wrestling where you kind of changed your opinion on?
William Regal, I had a newfound respect for them. And I'm not the biggest fan of Japanese wrestling, but I thoroughly respect and appreciate it, because honestly speaking, I think the internet overhypes it, because it's the cool thing to watch, because it's like if you're a foodie, that one food that everybody's is that high-end food everybody gotta eat, but it might not be that great to you, but everybody else has said the foodies say it's amazing. But I have a new appreciation for it because of what they do and how they work. Like, this year I'm going to Wrestle Kingdom for next year. Like, I will be in Japan for New Year's Eve. Like, I'm planning that out, putting bread to the side just for that. Because for them, it's like, it's real life. There's baseball, then there's wrestling in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understanding, like King Von said, Japanese wrestling is for the wrestling foodie snobs. Like,
enough.
It depends on what type of wrestling you look for when you see Japanese. When you think Japanese wrestling.
Justin, time out. Right. This is one of those things that's about to get you kicked out of the club. I will not, and I refuse to have that comparison. It's not for snobs. It's actually enjoyable. Now, are people late to the game? They are late to the game because I actually have been to watch it for a very long time. Because let's be real, WWE had its boring moments. And when I get bored with WWE, Patricia knows me best. When I get bored with something, I find something else. And I found Japanese wrestling. It's been overhyped now because I think
everybody's trying to get into it.
Exactly, because the AEW, not only with AEW, but a lot of people are starting to get into it because for some reason they are now too bored and it's become overhyped. But it is not for snobs. Let's not do that, Bond.
I wasn't going to kick out because I wasn't going to say anything flagrant on it.
Nah, it's not Justin. I thought we started, but so I'm going to push back on it. I'm about to say,
like what?
It's Justin, my man. Justin out here.
What I was going to say was this. For people that don't watch Japanese wrestling, because I hear what you're saying. It's like people hype like the Okada and Omega stuff. If you really want to watch Japanese wrestling and learn the strong style, go watch like Shibata Goto. Go watch Shibata Okada. Go watch like the stuff that's really super stiff, but they really beat the crap out of each other. But it's out of respect, and it's like that's their style of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like there's another side to Ospreay or Ibushi or Omega's like, no, you gotta go watch this other stuff. There's a reason where Shinsuke learned strong style and why Shinsuke was the king of strong style for a reason. Go pull that up.
Yeah, it's a different type of vibe over there. But I will say it's for, like Vaughn said, it's more of a purist type of thing. Like you gotta love wrestling, which is nothing's wrong with that. Mm-hmm. We all got that friend that's not gonna go to certain spots because it's like, oh, I don't do that. So Krista might be that friend.
I'm that friend. No, you want to go there? Who? I'll catch you when. Call me later.
But it's nothing wrong. Oh, another wrestler who I have a newfound appreciation for. I'm not the biggest fan, but I respect them so much. Is the Young Bucks. Mm-hmm. To make money and not be in WWE, what was it before AEW, says a lot.
True.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They were like it says a lot. Free agents at one point.
Yeah, so the mere fact that like they used that Bullet Club group to kind of springboard their ways out of there, using social media, doing so much more to build a brand. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of because I see the grind of independent wrestlers. Yeah. Like especially now, like there's a wrestling school everywhere.
Everywhere, like it's like McDonald's.
I wish they had some in DC, but
before
they don't. They have some in DC, don't they?
Down. They were
there's a lot of red tape with the DC Virginia stuff where it's like there is a wrestling promotion, there's not, and that's why we always gotta go to Maryland with stuff or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's my ignorance because I connect DC so much with Maryland, but they're really just separate places. That's my ignorance on that.
That's the New Yorker in you. We all do it. It's okay.
Yeah, my bad, Justin.
Justin from New York. He just resides in DC.
Damn.
That part.
Yep.
Damn. That's rough.
So, one thing. Damn.
That was rough.
I'm just calling it out. He's from New York. He just resides in DC.
I mean, that's kind of facts, but I'm just gonna drink to that.
Drink your water.
drink to that. So one thing I do respect about you, Wilkins, is that you're not going to do anything small. So your first wrestling match wasn't going to be some random shit. It was going to be against a Simon, someone where it made sense, where it made an impact. And I remember listening to Simon Miller back 10 years ago on fucking YouTube. He's one of the first wrestling YouTube hosts or personalities, I should say, that I got into. But another thing that I think that you're doing to kind of step it up a little bit is you're hosting a press conference and weigh-in at Legends this Friday, which I think is just the perfect thing to just tie all this together. So talk a little bit about that.
So it came about was if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do everything that I want to do.
Love it.
All about it. Even my entrance, I stole it from somebody else because he's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Ooh.
So it's all about fitting things in, and we spoke about the Attitude Era. One of the greatest things I ever saw was the press conference for Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold, and Mike Tyson was the referee.
Yep.
So you wanted things to feel epic, so we were just let's do this. Originally, we were going to do it at the school, then we were going to add Fallout Shelter, but we were let's do it at Legends. People can come out, have some drink, get some music going, but also make this feel like something legit and badass. Mm-hmm. And that was the whole point of it. We're going to do this, have a couple of Jobber Tears team with the jackets on, so it feels like a whole entourage is with me.
Bad boy. So all the secrets, the anticipation. You got to have us anticipating something.
They still coming. What the?
He's they're still gonna come though.
It's gonna be like the Great White Hype. Only he's not coming in with a gut. He's coming in with yo, I be lifting.
Yeah, so it's one of those you want to create blockbuster type of feel, emotions and stuff like that, even if it's on a smaller level that we're doing it on. This ain't WWE or AEW or even a bigger promotion. It's let's make it feel big. Let's have fun about this. You gotta do what you want to do in life. Sure. We all have opportunities, some big, some small, and we can turn those small opportunities to something bigger. And that's how I live my life.
Yeah, and it's so exciting too because it's bringing us all together. I already have people oh, I'm coming. You're gonna be at Legends. I'm 100%. I'm gonna be at Legends. And one of the other amazing things is that you're streaming the press conference live from Twitch and YouTube, correct? So if you're not in the New York area, you can watch.
Yes, I could watch this and comment.
Yeah, so it's that type of thing. It's making it feel kind of dope. You know what I mean? It's creating something, and I'm all about trying to create something. And because at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, oh shit, you can look back oh, I did that.
Yeah. And for a wrestling match, this has a boxing type feel because this is how boxing matches get promoted. Is this same style, but you don't see it in wrestling matches. Like you said with the Shawn Stone Cold, that's a rarity. That's why it stands out so much. We see this in boxing all the time, but not really in wrestling. So for it to be your first match, last match, but to have this type of big fight feel is a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. But can I just say, this past Jobber Slam, you kind of had our hopes up. I believe it was Jobber Slam. Or was it? It was Jobber Slam.
Jobber Slam too, yeah.
Yes, and everybody was we heard the music, and you came out. I'm is he really? No, I promise you, I marked out so crazy because I'm just he's finally not teasing us, and he's going to be in the ring. I think you came out faster than Santino did.
That's the sweatpants battle royal.
First of all, sweatpants, and then talking about this is crazy. We should all be something to do.
It was so good.
We should play chess.
He gave you just a tip. That's what that was. He gave you just a tip. He didn't give you the strong arm. He didn't give you just a tip.
Put it all the way in this weekend. That's what you're saying.
I feel very uncomfortable in this conversation.
It's okay. We grown.
Can I also say the pop that you got, Wilkins, at JobberSlam 2?
Yep.
Like,
I saw the social media clips. You got a major pop from that too. I was like, oh shit, that's my boy. I was like, damn, they love him.
Because like you're making all your wrestling dreams come true, and I think every wrestling fan wants to know what that feels like.
So to be honest, I ain't hear none of it.
I think it's going to
really.
Yeah, I didn't hear none of it.
Is it like okay? So like, is it because I've heard that adrenaline will drown out certain parts of your nervous system outright? So could it be because of your adrenaline going out there, and you're just like, listen, I'm gonna go out in the ring, do my thing. That like everything that's going around you is kind of like fogged, and you're just like focused on what you're doing. Like, what's your mindset?
So
going into that.
The first time I came out, because I had to like introduce Eel. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
I came out. All I remember was, all right, Wilkins, come out when LL says this. I came out and I had something I had to do, say a couple of things. I had to like put a couple of things in my head. And I was like, all right, let's not fuck this up. Then when I actually came out for the Sweatpants Battle Royal, I was just like, all right, bet. Let me come out and not trip. Let me do my entrance, not fall, and let's be focused. My brother smacked me in the butt and I didn't even realize it.
Shout out to Mr. Black.
Hey, yo, he's like, yo, don't fuck this up.
What?
So it's, I think like you mentioned, the adrenaline probably was just like let's get this going. It'll probably be different this time around because my mom's gonna be there. So
wow. Shout out to Mamita.
I like that one. I used to call her Big Mama. I like Mamita.
Mamita.
I like
learn something new. Mamita.
Shout out to Justin. But yeah, I didn't like hear anything, but this time around it might be different. It's one of those where it's like, all right, let's have some fun and let's fuck each other up.
I mean, that's the best way to go into a wrestling match.
I like it.
And leave it all in the ring.
Yeah, leave it all in the ring. Let's do it, and let's have some fun with it. And coming from like House of Glory, Amazing Red has taught me a lot. And the biggest thing I had to learn was like slow down. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how the matches seem so fast, but it feels even faster when you're in there. But then you're like, holy shit, you gotta slow it down to tell the story. And for it, there's like so much things that go into it, like spacing, footing, like the pace. Like you may have somebody that goes like a 1,000 miles per hour, and somebody that goes at like 50 miles per hour. I gotta meet in the middle for it to make sense.
Yep.
And that's that chemistry you were talking about earlier, seeing.
Yeah, chemistry is huge.
Chemistry is huge.
Like people don't understand how important that is. And even if you don't got chemistry, you gotta fake it like some people's relationships nowadays. Like
bingo. We talked about this earlier with Bianca and Alexa, where it's like we hope going into this Rumble match the chemistry is better because you can tell by that first match it was off and they weren't clicking.
Yep. Right.
Whose fault was that? Because it looked like when I watched that match, the first one that you're speaking about, it looked like Alexa wasn't there.
She wasn't.
I want to say it's Alexa just because Alexa is not the best at bumping, and also it's been a while since we've seen Alexa wrestle versus Bianca has been used to wrestling and has been in a rhythm. So it's like playing basketball. It's like someone that's been playing and someone that's just coming off of IR.
But you gotta remember,
hasn't shot in like 6 months.
You gotta remember that baby was concussed. Like,
right.
For her to go back into a ring, she's going off like she's going off for not trusting and being nervous. And unfortunately, that showed in that match between her and Bianca. Like,
I forgot she was concussed.
People's
like,
chemistry.
do I want to get concussed again? Like,
yeah, she has a
I
history.
never really worked with Bianca,
right?
And can I really
That's the
trust
reason
her
Alexa and
work with
Trish
her,
didn't
you
happen
know?
at Evolution was because she got concussed by Ronda like weeks before.
And that's why Alicia ended up being in that match.
Yeah, she was concussed.
Yeah, that's crazy. I forgot
And
all
that's
about
not
that.
And that's not the first she's had a concussion.
That's not her whole talk show phase.
Yeah, and also remember when they did the invasion, the same night that Becky
Yeah,
got her face mask, Alexa ran out the ring. Remember, she came
She
dressed
got
in the and as soon as they came, they made sure Alexa got out that ring and she could not fight because she was concussed.
Back to what Wilkins was saying about chemistry, like, and the reason why why chemistry is so important. Like, imagine when you're in the ring and you're working with somebody on chemistry. Imagine how it looks when you think, okay, this may not be, you're doubting yourself on your chemistry already, and the result of it shows on TV, and that's why I'm so hard on it. So imagine the way we looking at it crazy. I can imagine how wrestlers feel when they get into the ring and they're starting to realize, like, all right, something's off, but we still have to keep going and make something work. It started looking crazy. I almost compare it to like when you get drunk, right? And you like maybe 4 shots in and you think you walk in a straight line, but really you walking left, right, front, you done reverse 2 times down the stairs to get to the bathroom. Imagine how it looks to other people. You think you sober.
Oh,
God,
that is such a good.
But to other people, they like, damn, this bitch is gone. Like, this is out of it. So that's why the way I look at it from the outside perspective. So that's why I'm glad you get it, Wilkins, because like chemistry is very important. Because I know P says I'm not allowed to talk about her, but her and Shotzi's match was bad to me because they didn't have it. But they tried to make it go like they did, but they don't.
So another part of chemistry, and this is something that I learned, is wrestling styles.
Right.
Chemistry is one thing, like this basic chemistry of just understanding each other and fitting each other, but even the fighting style plays a factor. Like the way I've kind of come is kind of Goldberg-ish, old Stone Cold Brawler type of thing. And my last practice match, I did it with a dude, and we wrestled kind of. He was a bigger dude, and probably was one of my better matches because he was kind of the same way. So we were able to execute it the right way. A lot of times, the styles don't match up. Shotzi and Ronda didn't work because their styles did not match up. Ronda's best matches are with bigger people and people who are stiff. Like Nia and Ronda put on a banger low key.
Yes.
I agree. Yes. I 100% agree.
Because Nia is stiff, big. She's not an average woman, you know how the song goes, and so she's fine as hell. I met her in person. Oh boy, smell good.
Another conversation.
Anyways,
shout to the girls.
Shout out to Nia smelling good on behalf of our Wilkins.
Keep it 100 in here. So
she was fine, and she gave me a hug, and she's like, "Just come here, just come here." I was like, "Oh."
Ooh,
she's like,
lift you off your feet, like.
This was wild enough because she was like, "You want me to pick you up?" I was like, "You will not pick me up."
See, that's why I said
what you won't do. I love that for you, though.
You will not pick me up.
Come here.
I am a man. But anyways, she's a stiffer worker, and Ronda could get stiff with her. Shotzi's a technical wrestler, low key. Ronda ain't no technical wrestler.
That is true. That's why the Sasha match, Sasha learned to wrestle Ronda style, and she did snug, but she did like more MMA shit.
Exactly.
Ronda was more familiar. Sasha's like, I'll wrestle your shit.
Well, this is why Sasha is my favorite wrestler of the 4, but Bayley's my favorite all around. I'm a Bayley head to the T. Like she can wrestle, like wrestle, and also very charismatic, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and Bailey does never gets the flowers like the other three do.
Oh, 100%.
And her moveset is so underrated. Like she does things that nobody does, but it doesn't seem as showy. You don't really notice, but Bailey always brings it. She's always mixing it up. She knows she can literally wrestle anybody.
She's the Seth of the group. Because Rollins doesn't get enough respect.
Ooh.
Seth Rollins does not get
enough.
I always, because he's
to me, he gets a proper respect, and he's up there for me. Because I've seen pre-knee injury Rollins where it was just like, how the hell are you doing this? It's like watching Ricochet, but before he blew his knee out, I was like, dude, what you're doing is like, how? Like a million people on this earth, you're the only one that can do this shit. How? And even after the knee injuries, he still adapts to everyone and is so fluid. It's just like, how?
But he's not Moxley, because Moxley is one, he's an AEW as a champ. But even when all three of them were there, I always felt people loved Moxley and Roman more.
Right.
Like diehard indie people love Moxley.
Yeah,
love Moxley. WWE has love Roman.
And it's weird because you would think, I thought a lot more people, because I noticed that too, the love was more for Roman and Mox than Rollins, because I know a lot of people were there for Tyler Black, but there weren't a lot of people there for Tyler Black. There were more people there for Jon Moxley as Dean Ambrose than there were for people that were there for Tyler Black as Seth Rollins. I noticed that, which is why I was like, the push, a lot of people like to think the push was forced, but I'm like, no, I feel like, again, this is the mediocre standard. They thought that Seth was mediocre. I don't think Seth is mediocre per se. I think he's far from mediocre, but I think there's people in the back that find him to be that way.
He is, to me.
I think there's people in the
I think I really would have to sit and disagree with y'all, honestly.
You really don't think that? You think that people had a lot of love for Seth Rollins in the beginning?
Here's my thing. I thought when I was introduced to Shield, I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't watch Indies, I didn't know them in NXT, whatever. When they came together, for me, Seth Rollins was so charismatic. He dominated on the mic. His character as the leader of the Shield, like everything drew fans into him. I felt like with Roman, people loved Roman because of the fact that he was the muscle. When it came into mic skills, he was ass. Okay, and I'm a Roman fan. He was ass. And with Dean, because we respect Dean Ambrose over here. And with Dean,
she does.
And with Dean, it was like he played both sides. Like he could be more of a sophisticated type, but then it's like once you hit him wrong or once you do something, that lunatic French comes out, and people was loving the crazy side. Out of the three, who I felt like people didn't like the most, for me personally, was definitely Roman. Like it took a while, maybe character-wise, but it took a while for people to really gravitate towards him, even after the show broke up and Dean had left because he had the arm injury. Then he came back looking like baby Triple H. Like it took a while for people to like really gravitate towards Roman. Y'all can't even say him live. Like baby Triple H.
He did. He totally did.
He looked just like baby Triple H, and Triple H came back.
I am unhinged. The lunatic Fringe.
Right, like
no,
but I don't know. Like for me, I just like it was the opposite. I felt like Seth had all the attention on him. I felt like everybody loved Seth when they came to the main roster. Like I said, I don't know who Tyler Black is. I don't know him in that life. I don't know I didn't know John Moxley before Dean Ambrose.
But
I know
you
John
have
Moxley
to realize
you
have to realize you're right. But here's the difference: the love was the attention was put on Seth Rollins. You had people that genuinely were fans of Dean Ambrose, heel or not. You had
that I
people
know.
that were, and then with Roman Reigns, I agree with you on that perspective. But like after a while, they realized that he was also being pushed. He was kind of being thrusted. Seth's love because he was being put in our face. Like, look how many opportunities they gave him. He was being put in our face.
The Michelle Williams.
Let's be real, not the Michelle Williams. Wow.
Yeah.
Took me out of my train of thought. So, like, look at how each person was treated post-Shield. You had Dean, who didn't really have to lift. He didn't have to lift a finger for you to be like, oh, like Dean's just that guy. Like he's gonna go crazy. We like that. Like he was like genuinely liked. With Seth, he was more put like he already had a storyline with Seth and the Authority. He was being put there. Roman Reigns, he was like thrusted. Like this is your guy. He's strong. He's big. He's Vince's dream. He's this. He's that. He's next. He was thrusted. So you know how the fans like to pretend to hate somebody who's being thrusted in their faces when low key they like them. They treated John Cena the same way for years. So
but I also
that's
feel like
where I feel like
I also feel like and this is me personally. I also feel like because Roman announced as Joe that his cancer came back, he was immediately going to get that sympathy when he came back. And that's exactly what happened. And ever since he came back with that out, nobody hated Roman, i.e. PR.
Hey, I disagree. Once he came back, I was at 35. They gave him that sympathy and they turned right back.
It was when he turned.
I didn't say it was the cancer. I said when he came back, nobody hated him. I didn't say.
I disagree.
I still wasn't a fan of him. I was like, I really hope they don't put him in the title picture. Blah blah. It was when he turned heel. Honestly, is when
it was a heel turn.
That's
he came
what it was.
back, and they were like, "We're glad you're back. Still don't like you."
Right. So one of the things is that everybody had a good point on that one. Let's look at the current era of wrestling right now. We talk about Roman being like the needle mover, godlike, whatever, God level. Everybody talks about the John Moxley. Mm-hmm. But the combination of like storyline and in-ring ability is Seth. But Seth has said some dickhead shit online, and people pushed him away. And even though people pick and choose who they like in professional wrestling, but he still is putting on, like, he had the best year this year out of all three of them. Matches, character work, everything. It's just that people just don't fuck with Seth because of his personality. That's literally what it comes down to.
Remember that random girlfriend he had too?
Yeah, like his Will Ospreay.
He's a mess.
Like you guys know what PR is. You guys know about being media trained. And for a solid 3 years, Seth was trash at it.
Yeah.
And it didn't help people loving him. Now, yes, Chrissy mentioned about the Tyler Black thing, but John Moxley is an underground legend.
Yeah, that I know.
And so like that pushed him so people to be like the rabid indie fans to love him. Now they had love for Seth, but I think everybody around me, maybe I don't know about you guys, was talking about how John Moxley was the best one, the most charismatic one of all three of them.
Yeah,
and I was just
because
like,
they genuinely liked him. They genuinely liked him.
Yeah, they liked him.
That's
because
what it was. He didn't have to be thrusted. They didn't have to give him title after title. They didn't have to do none of that. They just genuinely gravitated.
And I felt like because they genuinely liked him, and we all know how Vince feel about bigger dudes and all these over the top characters, they kind of made Dean purposely that third person. The fans wanted Dean as John, but they was like, no. They knew what they were getting with John Moxley coming into WWE. They knew what they were scoping him. They knew what his wrestling styles were. Vince wasn't feeling it. He loved him, but he liked him, but he didn't love him enough to let him be in his true self. So that's when that whole lunatic fringe stuff came out, because he's going crazy. Jon Moxley is inside, deep down near the testicles, itching to come out and be John.
And Moxley is great at connecting with the people, because I was there when he came back from the alcohol hiatus. That first show at Dynamite was in DC. I was there for that, and he just has that natural. I can connect with the crowd like that. 2 minutes.
I still don't fuck with him.
I got this. That's the thing.
I need you to fight Moxley. Shit. I need that to be your last match.
I respect the shit out of him for what he's done. I still don't fuck with him. I still think he's like Chris Bosh of the team of the three. I still think he's like Aquaman. Like
Bosh still got them rings. Bosh could be like, I got two still. What up?
He gotta be?
I think he's the worst without the three, but he's still good.
And technically, Bosh was better the last 2 years than Way was, but.
That's Buffalo conversation.
So bring it back to Battle Club Pro.
Let's steer it back to the match in hand and the winning.
Let's steer it back, and I think that we should definitely have a debate show on Twitch, because these are really good topics that you can really go every way about it. That's the fun thing about wrestling. But I do want to just talk about this card this weekend, because Wilkins' match is not the only match on the card. There's actually a lot of those matches on the card that I'm very, very excited about.
Damn, I wish I could pull up to this.
Right?
I can't wait.
I gotta say, I've gone to, I would say, maybe 4 Battle Club Pro shows in the last year or so, and
wait, is that thing face on here? This guy, it looks like next to the, it looks like Jay Briscoe on this flyer.
It looks like what?
It looks like Jay Briscoe on this flyer.
No, that isn't him. That isn't him. It's one of the Ugly Ducklings.
Okay, but it looks like him. So I had to be like,
yeah, it's one of the Ugly Ducklings.
Okay.
Besides, there's a whole bunch of matches that I'm excited about. I'm excited about
right?
Carter versus Pena. I'm really excited about Darius Carter versus Steve Pena. I feel like that's going to be a clinic. I can't.
That's going to be a
loaded card.
Besides your match,
they bring it.
I can't wait for that.
Darius Carter. Good show. Make sure you go to Battle Club Pro RSVP, get your ticket. Like I always say when we promote these shows, even if you can't make it, sponsor a ticket, buy a ticket. It really supports everything that they're doing. These are labors of love. A lot of
it's being shown live, right? Is it?
I think so. I got double check.
I may not be here. I may not.
I will personally sponsor a ticket.
Yeah, I'll sponsor a ticket, but I won't be. I'll be in Maryland. So, and I hate to
everyone that's watching. If you can't go, please support. I also want to shout out Black WrestleFest too.
Yes.
They have started posting. That is happening this year, Juneteenth weekend, June 17th. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about what everyone in our community is doing, as well as like Brian H. Waters, Cal, a part of our family that just released their new Ringer Wrestling show called Wednesday Worldwide. Like, we're doing it. We're doing it out here. We're very excited.
Everyone's leveling up. Everyone's leveling up. The price of brick went up, and everyone's saying, "Yo,
and at work, level up."
Success, nothing less.
Those wrestling girls are taking over Rumble.
Can't wait.
All three of you guys are going? Oh, just you two.
No, just PR and I.
I will be pulling up to New York because I've been hearing about your watch parties for the Big Four.
Yes, you have to go.
I've never done it for a Big Four.
You've never been for a Big Four.
I was supposed to go last year, and what happened was last year there was a huge snowstorm in NYC that was like, bro, don't even drive up here.
It's actually busy that day.
It's weird,
I didn't go, but I heard you guys were busy.
That's what I heard was y'all were busy, but then it was like, yeah, if you're out of town, it's bad. Do not even try to drive from DC to New York.
Yeah, I didn't
like,
come from
damn. So I was supposed to go last year. I've never gone for Big Four. I went for
So what pay-per-view did you show for?
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
And we were pretty busy for that one.
My younger brother came to that.
I came for Extreme Rules because I wanted to experience it once, but I've never gone for a Big Four. So I wanted. That's always been like on my bucket list.
It's
Wilkins, we know you're heavily involved with HOG, and I just saw the big announcement for the next show. Who's going to be there?
Ooh.
Which big announcement? Like a bunch of big announcements.
I saw the one for JTG.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be at the next show.
He's dope. He's dope, man. We interviewed him like right before, a couple months before. Never mind. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Also, if I don't know, a lot of people know this, but he wrote 2 books, and they are really, really good and really funny. And
yes.
And so, if you've never read his books, please do. They're on YouTube. I mean, buy it. But it's on YouTube, but it's really
what books we reading, buying?
Yeah, exactly. Which ones?
You should do a book club.
I want to do a book club.
He wants to do a book club so bad.
On wrestling books.
Yes, I love book club.
Listen, I still have books I need to finish.
I don't read them.
Nitro.
I do audio.
That's still reading.
All I know is between PR and Brian, they've been giving me lists. I'm like, all right, I gotta grab them and start reading.
I will say you can listen to both JTG's books on YouTube. It's called Why. The first one is called Why Did I Write This Book? And then the second one is Why Did I Write This Book Too?
Nah, they're good. They're good.
I've heard they're good.
Yeah, they're super funny, super motivating, and like in his own way. So I don't know.
But they're also a look into the politics of professional wrestling.
100%.
Gotcha.
Like I would, and they're not that long, Justin. So you can probably get through them like real quickly. So I think I start with that first, so we can get this book club going.
Oh my God! Yes.
What wrestling books have you guys read?
I just finished Nitro. I just finished Nitro, the rise and fall of Ted Turner.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I also did read John Moxley's book. I read AJ Lee's book. My next book is finally the Bella Twins book. Like I've been saving that for vacation day, so I'm gonna start that next week.
That's a good book. I want to reread it. I have the electronic version, but I want the hardcover.
I read AJ Lee's book again because like her depth into mental health and shit is deep.
It's good. I told my coworkers, I was like, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to get a lot out of AJ Lee's book. Like I feel like anyone that had like hard times, hardships should read that book because it's really, really good.
Also, Chris Jericho.
I've
never read his book.
I've read We Promised the Great Event, Main Event. I've read Daniel Bryan's book. I got the Secret Santa for at my job. Somebody got me the signed copy of the Young Bucks book. I read that one.
Nice.
So reading that book, I understood AEW more because it was literally about me putting my homies on.
I love that.
That's dope.
That's dope.
Like everybody that they interacted with, like before AEW started, they're now a critical part of the company now.
Wow.
Like it's they put their homies on like heavy, and that also helped me get a newfound respect for them. But they also were the first to like get heavy on social media and Twitter.
Yeah.
Now it's a regular thing.
Yeah. No, I respect that.
It's crazy that there's a black wrestling Twitter.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It really is. It really is.
And I get on.
Speaking of Black Twitter, I just want to plug myself really, really quickly. So today I wrote a story at work for WBLS about Prentice Penny doing a documentary on Black Twitter.
Ooh.
3-part docuseries on Black Twitter. Why does he's doing a 3-part docuseries on the rise of Black Twitter?
Ah, that's exciting.
And why now at this point we friends. At this point we friends. He liked my tweet.
Nice.
At this point we friends, and I need to be featured in one of these docuseries episodes because If it wasn't for Black Twitter, it wasn't for us. Okay.
We get everything popping. Like we get everything popping. Totally not surprised. But I do want to start closing down the club. I want to thank Sir Wilkins for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
Yes, I am so happy and proud of you. We're so excited for you this Saturday.
Deadass, we're proud of you, dude.
That
I watch your social medias. Pay attention to what you guys have been doing and moving.
That's all I want you to do. I'm gonna be there in the back, like kick his ass. You wouldn't hear me. Don't worry.
I have my high school friends coming, which is kind of cool.
Oh my god, it's like a reunion. Like this is so dope.
So Mamita's coming in. You got your mom coming in. Your high school friends coming in. We know your brother going wild the hell out. And, I knew it. Something I wanted to ask. Your brother's a referee, so
is he reffing?
Is he reffing your match?
I want to be surprised.
No, he's not reffing my match.
Like I say, are we expecting a BH order special? 1, 2. I'm hesitating on 3.
Like Wilkins is lying, but we just gonna wait and see. He about to kayfabe the fuck out of us.
Because he asked, and I told him no.
Yeah, because you're like, no, I know how you're doing. Be like, 1, remember that time where you did this and that? Yeah, I'm gonna take my time on this count. 2, remember that other thing? 2.5, 2 3/4.
No, he's not roughing my match. He can't do that. But he's gonna ref all the other matches. It's gonna be a hard hitting match. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna tell a story, and it's gonna be dope. That night's gonna be really dope. And the weigh-in's gonna be dope. I gotta buy a scale tomorrow
for the weigh-in.
But my ass went to Attitude Era. I'm like, damn, you gonna beat him with a scale? I'm tired.
Tell you, it's like boxing. You gotta get that guy like ting ting ting. He weighs in at. They weigh in at. Stare down.
Remember when Cody tried to do one? Remember when Cody tried to do one with Anthony Ogogo, and that didn't turn out really well?
Yeah.
I remember that one. We did the Dynamite one, the weigh-in.
I think so. I think I remember that.
They tried.
They tried. Cody's still my man's, though. Cody's still my man's. $100 grand.
Legends has a lot of chairs, so chairs have to fly. Just tell me where to stand, so I can be far away from the chair flying.
Stand in the bathroom. That downstairs bathroom where you can just see everything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit
right back
there. Because never say never. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So, especially if you guys have a stare down. Especially if you have a stare down where you're this close to each other and you're just talking that shit. Yeah, that's why you're wearing lifting your shoes. Yeah, that's why your breath stink. Exactly. See that?
That was at Mania, actually.
That was Mania weekend.
Look at that long-term booking, long-term storytelling right there.
Shout out to the Public Enemies, long-term booking.
I remember that. I'm like, oh Lord, Wilkins, please just hurry.
Y'all were drunk. I was drunk that night.
This was at Mania? When?
It was at Wally Mania.
Y'all were upstairs. Yeah. Y'all were upstairs on the main floor.
I was like, who wasn't drunk? Who wasn't drunk?
No, I was.
Me.
You was smacked.
I was borderline.
Okay.
Then again, y'all have VIP shit, and I was just chilling with the main floor.
First of all, I didn't mean shit. It didn't mean shit, to be honest, because they paid for a whole section, which I still want my money back. I'm gonna have to talk to Wale. I still want my money back.
You said Wale.
I'm like, my best friend calls him Wale because a girl he performed at her school one day, and the girl, she was like, "Oh my God, did you hear Wale is coming to the school?" And
she knows him on the first name basis, Wale.
Right,
he's
Wale.
Not Wale, he's Wale.
Like, who? And he's like, Wale. He's
Wales.
And she was like, his name is Wale, but whatever, neither here nor there. And when I say the drinks were just flowing, like I don't remember. I remember Math. Math is like my personal ATM. Okay, he was literally buying drinks. We was taking shots.
I knew y'all, but I didn't know y'all like that. So I was chilling with we were moshing on the floor while y'all were turning it up upstairs.
Well, also, like I was saying, you could have.
So everyone was upstairs. I'm just chilling downstairs, yo, this is lit.
You could have just went upstairs. Like
it was did anything that you wanted to do.
At one point, Security was like, "Oh, you don't have a thing," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I do. I have a press pass and I have a band for we in VIP. We didn't even use our section, bro. We did not.
Nah, we did
Next time.
But
next time, my ass.
I was drunk.
The only reason I don't give shit on that is because I left a little early because I want to see Sasha because I've never met Sasha in person, and that's my favorite.
Oh,
so I was
you met her that night, or you went the next day?
The next day, and I ended up being the first person I got to meet her. So I got to actually talk to her and actually meet her for like a good.
That's dope. That's dope. That's worth it.
So I was like, I'm leaving early because I want to go meet her, and it ended up happening to where it's like jump the line.
Yeah.
Like Nate from Storyline Tees gave me a drink. He was just like, "Are you good?" I was like, "I don't know if I can finish this, but I'm gonna finish this because I'm a little fucked up."
We were all fucked up. Like
I love it because it's like 3 different stories from Wale Mania. There's like downstairs, upstairs, and then on the stage. It's like 3 different stories.
No, there's 4 stories. And finding P going on a scavenger hunt with Patricia. How about that?
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a long ass.
I don't know how you did that while being drunk.
Yo, P was like 3 different people. She was like, "Oh my god, I can't find." Like she was frantic P, and then she was just like so mellow and chill P, and then she was like, super fan P. Like every wrestler, like we went in the back and
everywhere.
She back there talking to Chavo Guerrero, so I'm over here going, "Excuse me."
He was like, "You want to take a selfie with me?" I was like, "Yes."
And he goes now, and P goes, "Oh my god, this is my co-host." He goes, "Oh my god, I want to take a selfie with you too." I was like, "Hold on, okay." Picture.
I love it.
Like,
I can't wait for this year, yo.
I love it.
Please,
I'm just on the floor meeting Black and Brown Twitter while y'all upstairs doing official shit.
Everything
don't bring no jacket.
Oh my god. Speaking of Wale Mania, hold on one second. Look what I found today.
Well, she got an exclusive?
Literally today. Like, I forgot about them and I opened, because I'm rereading Harry Potter. And I opened the back of the book and look what I found.
Mine is on my wall. They're on my wall.
I love
the official photos.
I left them in Texas.
It's on my wall, and I have the one of me and you on my desk. I have that one on my desk at work.
Oh, that's dope.
Now I'm jealous.
And then I have, but look at the ones that I have. Hold on.
Can we just say Krista giving face, yo? Krista giving.
Listen, I'll be doing what I do, okay?
She got the official photos.
God, I forgot about these.
That is official. If you were at Wale Mania, that's your official.
Yes. Oh God, I gotta post on that. But it's getting late. Wilkins, thank you so much for your time.
Wilkins has a million things to do because he's got a weigh-in to get ready for. He has a match to get ready for.
I have one of Dre holding his hat like this. I can't find it right now, but he's holding his hat like from the photo booth. I said, "Yo, you need to autograph it for me before I can put it on my wall."
I remember that.
Just how you didn't take a picture? It was there on the walk-in.
Because I was literally at the door where everyone was going inside to go either to the stage or upstairs. But I was down because I kept meeting people from like Twitter. So like Black and Brown Twitter, like I said, like I was just running into people like, yo, yo. It's like, fuck it. We were just having drinks and shots, but now we're already upstairs. So
it wasn't upstairs. It was literally when you walked into the House of Blues before we went to like the floors and stuff. It was on the outside to the right.
But here's the thing. I kept meeting people from wrestling Twitter too. So that's why I was staying downstairs.
You gotta love that.
You got distracted.
It's like,
it was
I think I know you. I think this and that. That's how I got the video of almost. And that's how I got the video of almost doing the rap.
We're live streaming, Wilkins. Don't be sharing stuff you don't want out there forever, okay? All right. Wait, but then he froze. I don't know what happened.
He definitely froze. But I do want to wind it down. So I do want there he is. Where can everybody find you, Wilkins?
You can find me on SIR_Wilkins. So SIR_WILKINS. Also, I'm 1/3 of the Jobber Tears podcast. Also, that's everything. It's all my social media. It's all the same thing across all the boards. Yep. So SIR_Wilkins. And I have that's about it. Thank you for having me. You four have put on a great show. I watch it consistently, low key. So you guys know.
Love you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm only a fill-in because Brian isn't here. I'm only a fill-in.
Brian H. Waters.
Brian Uncle Howdy Waters.
Brian Howdy Waters.
Brian Howdy Waters.
But I also want to thank the crew for joining me. Krista, thank you for joining in. You kind of filled in for Brian today.
Yeah, I just didn't have the sound effects. Sorry.
Yeah, he usually has all of that. But where can everybody find you guys?
We do have an order, and I go first. So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights on Twitch, usually from 7 to 9 with these illustrious 4 people. I know Brian isn't here, but me and the co-host, you can find us here. Catch me on Twitter Spaces on Tuesday nights from 6:30-ish for Turnbuckle Talk with Mimi and Corey. We were just on there the other weekend, just before the news broke with the Jay Briscoe stuff, but we were talking wrestling and stuff like that. You can find me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. I will be on there Saturday night for Giants Eagles, huge playoff game, division rivals.
And you could sometimes find him on TWG Presents Sound Off with Krista B and Christina Contreras.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. If you don't know, I may just pop up as Justin Howdy. I may just pop out, tuck my head, give my few thoughts. I'm here. I'm outside. I'm active.
I love it.
Oh, am I going next?
Mm-hmm.
We have an order.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at VLive. You can find me on Twitter at VLive. You can also find my wonderful, wonderful initiative in mental health for the Black and Brown community on the Well Minority, at the Well Minority on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube coming soon because the Well Minority podcast is dropping soon. His birthday is next month, so be on the lookout for that. And you can also catch me here on the fan club with the bestest friends that anybody can have. But also on January 26th, I'm proud to announce that I'm partnering with the Drop of Tears podcast, hers truly, the Queen, Janelle Atar, and also the lovely Black Wrestling podcast for the Big Four, the Royal Rumble edition. We are streaming live Thursday at 4:45. Start. Be there, be square, be on time, and yes, the titties will be out in front of Becky and Tamara also coming to the podcast. So don't miss out.
She said Tia and Tamara?
The
titties.
Named
the twins. Mine's is Cheech and Chong.
That's the first time I'm hearing this, Dustin.
What?
I said this like months ago. She named Tia Tamara. I was like, you know what? Cheech and Chong, let's go.
But lately they haven't been because they've been nippy. So sometimes I got to keep them in. Sometimes I got to keep them out. And
There's
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying.
That is the word of the day. Nippy.
No, remember the word. Okay, tomorrow the word of the name is nippy because it's gonna be cold again. But today was mediocre. But Tia and Tamara needs to be covered up today because it's cold.
I feel you.
But on the 26th, they'll be there.
I'm excited for that. I always look forward to the Big Four. I love when Janelle get together with the ladies and talk her shit. I'm excited for that.
It's an epic show.
It is, and I'm gonna let Krista B close it out. But before that, I just want to remind everyone that we have our Medusa Alundra Blaze spotlight out right now, with a very fun interview. So go check that out before our Charlotte Flair series drops on Monday. I'm very excited about. And catch Krista B Sound Off this Friday. You can find me on social media at Queen3_PR everywhere, basically. And Krista B, close us out.
Once again, one half of those wrestling girls, Miss Krista B. You can follow me on Instagram at ms_KRISTAB_ on Twitter ms_KRISTAB. As Queen PR lovely put it, I will be back here with Crystal Contreras 3 p.m. streaming live on Twitch for TWG Sounds Off. It's been a heavy week, and we're gonna sit here and voice our concerns and talk about everything. So please make sure you tune in. Please make sure you share. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you stream. Okay. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Anywhere we can be found, TikTok, because we are everywhere. We are taking over, and look out because TWG is taking over Texas for Royal Rumble. On that note, it's your girl Krista B, TWG Fan Club, and Sir Wilkins, and we are out of here.